Alright, for those who may be sticking with me or still going through the travels of the previous video, I said I will continue onward, and it is 2:42. What's that? 6, 8. Anyways, moving on. Boop. So as you see, my video has been uploaded 8 minutes ago. We shall continue onward. Now, last thing I brought up in the video was obviously related to this I was going to go into, and also going to go into myself personally. But first I will start off with something on my phone, and this is where you take your leap of faith, but I have that also saved on my phone for sharing purposes if anyone ever needs to see the proof. I hold nothing back whatsoever. So this is a conversation related to me and my stepfather. Just give me a second as I pull up the conversation. Alright, so most of you all, if you've gone through most of the video, are aware of my expression of limitations and so forth, and ending it about the creator and so on, and explaining darkness. So I was also explaining this so many times, not just to my stepfather, but to so many people in so many different ways, not limited by that one conception of how it can be expressed, because there's many ways I can express this, which I will express this with my own personal story in life. But before that, I will go into the portion of it that isn't written, but is on my phone. So portion that wasn't continued, because the portions that were shared or written here were through conversations related to people that I've already shared, all interconnected, by the way, which you will see shortly. So bear with me during this blank page, because eternity goes out boundlessly. There's always another page of a story to add more onto. Now, I say the following, and for those who stay to the end, I say, once that you realize that there are three beings, this is talking about Revelations here, after you got the verse of the true witness and origin and beginning and author of God's creation, once you realize that there are three beings here, you see the devil, aka Satan, known as the adversary, and God they speak of in Revelations. I'm sorry I meant to tell you the God they speak of, and I say there's three beings here. So there's times when they're talking about God, the creator, and they're talking about God, aka Lucifer. Now, this is a dual rebellion, like the Baphomet that points to the bottom in the sky, the devil below, the beast above. You'll notice how the devil mimicking God, so he's mimicking someone that's a limited being, because God shouldn't be mimicable to begin with. If he's the creator, no one can mimic him. They can try to imitate him, but at the end of the day, they'll all fall short. So if he's copying God with the mark, which I brought up already in a video of that 2-hour video, the mark of the beast, for example, aka the novel Coronavirus, which, by the way, I love novels. I'm just going to let you know that. Anyways, so if he's copying God with the mark of the beast, but he just added one extra thing, the right hand in the forehead, God, or Lucifer in this regard, is doing similar, trying to seal or steal your free will. Remember, free will is important here in the imagination. First thing to remember, imagination is important. That's why they limit your creativity. I mean, I guess they didn't limit it in the right way. They more like distorted it. Moving on. First thing to remember, the creator has no rival. Understand that. He might find delight in someone attempting to challenge him, but a rival, he has none, will never have any, and in absoluteness, no one can rival him. I don't like the word omni for the etymology reasons, as I explained before. It is a limitation. Omni mean basically is all, but that is a limitation. Let me remind you that the creator is boundless. So these beings, in at least Revelation sense, calling itself God, a God of light nonetheless, is a limited being regardless. He can't even save you from a simple mark or a simple seal. He can't. He once you're marked, he can't do nothing. But if you believe your Creator is boundless and all powerful, and I don't like that word, but boundlessly, immeasurably powerful, I should say. And surely you understand the difference in revelations of the three beings that are being mentioned here. Three beings, but one is only true, while the rest are not, in the sense. Now, we're going to move forward. Now, remember, they have two individuals named and monikers. There is, as I told you, the red dragon, and then, and this is a separator, always something comparative, and the serpent. These represents two different natures of character. Just like the Son of God is always the Lamb, that is usually speaking of the character of the Son of God. That always the Lamb, the Lamb, the Lamb. There. A singular, specific animal is applied to one person, usually to express their nature. Always. Always. The only one that is boundlessly beyond singular expressions is your Creator. Boundlessly. He can express himself in many forms, but it will always be for good, never evil. Moving forward. Because evil, remember, the word live backwards, and he doesn't want y'all to live backwards. Moving on. Just to simply let you know, the red dragon is also Lucifer. It says it has 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns. Now let me clarify. If you only focus on the first 2, you'll get confused. If you don't count the 7 crowns, you're lost. 7, 10, 7. Let me do that for you. 7 plus 7, 14. Plus 10, 24. 2 plus 4, 6. There you go. Moving on. Which is expressed that he took his angels with him. But everything in Revelation past chapter 3 is kind of morbid for humanity. If one was to rely on the God of light and so on, chapter 3 to quick the degree, to a degree, but after it becomes quite a mess. It becomes more harder to understand. Simple reason, the God of light isn't the Father, because it said the Father loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten Son, that the world may not perish. However, Revelation is an entirely different story / narrative from the rest of the Bible, which I could go back to other 3, how the other 3 books are all short books, but after Revelations, it just becomes infinitely longer. The last book, you got 3 books prior to Revelation, all short books to churches, and then Revelation is like this book. But that doesn't stop the truth from being known. It just means I'm gonna use that same trickery to expose itself, because I can to make the devil, Satan, and Lucifer always have to use parts of the truth, because if they don't use part of the truth, they have nothing to work with. What they like to create is untruths. Truths that seem like truths, but they're not. It's your choice in what you believe at the end of the day. I'm going to move forward. The Son of God, as in the title itself, said his Father, but definitely used his name as well. But, most people don't think about that. Because furthermore, when he said, Son of Man to the Pharisees, shall be seen at the right hand of power, El was used there as many translate to power because of certain Jews. And that's no offense, but yes, there are Jews out there who think, oh, God's name is so sacred, it's unspeakable. That's cacophony. But I'll go into that later. They were basically denouncing that the Father could have a son, limiting God once again. Another limitation. They kept misunderstanding Christ's plain language to the very end, like most people do, of today. Y'all haven't changed. Y'all keep trying to add this and that when everything was spoken plainly. Only times parables was mentioned were so you can think, have a thought-provoking moment. But y'all obviously didn't critically think what were being said. Moving on. And this isn't slight at no one, but the truth, the kindness that wants to see you all have eternity, is going to tell you a hard truth so you can make a properly informed decision, not mislead you and say, oh, you're feeling this, you're feeling... No, that's the problem with you guys. And that goes into the 10 Commandments, which I should go into, but that'll be its own video personally for you. And I, once again, say the person who came together and brought it together, I'm glad for them. They spoke volumes of what needed to be said. But moving on. They kept misunderstanding his plain language to the very end. They were expecting some deep mystery, but they charged him by the name of God to speak honestly, which he did, and told them that they'll see him at the right hand of the Father. Never claimed he was God, but stating his princely nature. Now, however, not only did he sin, now this is what I'm about to mess y'all up, because y'all need to now take the world out your thought process. Take the world controlling your thought process. You're not supposed to be of the world, so let me help you. Later, you can choose your own thoughts on this matter. If he can have a son, he has a daughter. So later, yes, the Father sent his daughter. Very well known, by the way. What's her name? Joan of Arc? Who represented a noble character, by the way. A strong side of a female. Hence, like the story of Mulan, mimicked, by the way. Mimicked, I say, because it was a mimicking. One of the things the religious did was take women out of the position of power. How the Bible speaks of a woman that is such a noble character, and the epilogue in the character is such, called the epilogue of a noble wife. Well, I'll get to that. That's coming around the corner, so don't worry. We'll talk about that. That's in there. All this. So for all you females and women out there, no, your creator is not misogynistic. Lucifer love you think that, but he's certainly not. So many lies and men with their own agenda have twisted the truth, but that is not so. Moving on. Now, moving on towards, since the Catholic speaks of a Heavenly Mother, they speaks of it, so they must think this is the case. Now, there's one, just not one they twist. Now, the Holy Spirit, actually the Heavenly Mother, at least if you look at that context. We don't want to stress particulars, which we will get into, but we'll keep it for the sake of it. If you have a family unit, it's basically this: a father, a mother, a son, and a daughter. Here we have Genesis. The Elohim here. The Elohim said, that word is Elohim, by the way. Thank you very much. Let us, Father, Son, Holy, and Spirit. Let me separate Holy and Spirit, by the way, just for y'all's sake. Because when you take the letters of Y, what's that? How you let me go back, because my stepfather wanted to bring it up. And let me go to the top, because all this can be interconnected if it's done correctly. Now, he messaged me at 3:25 a.m. Wednesday. Yes, this last Wednesday, about the divine name. Now, I already tried to talk to him about this, and he brought up translation Jehovah, and then YHWH. Fair enough, fine. Now, I already told him about this stuff January, and we got into discussion, and he brought up languages. I'm like, okay, hold on. One need a blessing. There. Whoever needed that one. So, I agree with the notion that Jehovah is transliteration. You're allowed to believe what you want. You Jehovah Witness, you're allowed to. I'm all about the truth. So, we're going to stay on the truth. Because that's what's important here. The truth. Not you focusing on names and titles and petty things and so forth. Because, unfortunately, that's where you all unfortunately went. And this is no strike on anyone's character. It's just your enemy. You all underestimate the devil and Satan and how far they will go to mislead you, among other rogue, unknown forces that are beyond your understanding. But we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on this. And then I'm going to move to me personally, so I can share me, so you can know who this person behind. I already showed you my Facebook, so I'm not ashamed or scared of expressing myself. Rather, you believe me or not, that is of your own making. Now, I already told you that Elohim is a family name, right? So, let us, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, make them male and female in our image, and let them have dominion over all of the other kinds on the earth, which I'm going to explain that into this now. So God the Father created, because context is important, created man in his own image, because ultimately the Father is the one who brought all things forth, his own image, but expresses outwardly, because everything comes outwardly from him. And in the image and likeness of God. So when they say first, so God the Father created man in his own image, the image and likeness of God, aka Elohim, the family unit, the dynasty, whatever you want to call it, it's still a family. He created them. Now we gotta move back to Noel. Moving back to Emmanuel real quick. The song, first Noel says it all, because no one wanted to get this, and then I'm gonna go into me personally. But the first Noel, the one that does it good, is the version by Carrie Underwood. You can say all you want, but it combines the three necessary parts of that song perfectly. So kudos to her. She did wonderfully. But I will explain that in a second after I express this. Actually, I'm going to express that later. So the version Carrie Underwood, I will play, and only briefly, I will give all copyright claims, aka intellectual property, belongs to them. Their voice, that's their claims. I do not own anything related to this because that's their imagination that they took freely. I can invest it to use freely under fairness, and I am not here to alter, make seem wicked, or change anything. I'm merely here to express myself in a way that you can comprehend and see the truth, and rather you believe I'm speaking the truth or not. Once again, that is your free will. Moving on. So, I'm gonna go to the song, because remember, the thing I'm bringing up is now related to Emmanuel, and this one I will definitely play. So, and once again, make sure that's fine. Alright, we will now play this. Button. And my headphone. Remember, this is called First Noel. And this is for a reason. Every other one tries to take this apart, but Carrie Underwood did it good. Carried you under the woods.
The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 Noel. Born is the King of Israel.
So there let us song with one accord, singing praises to our heavenly Lord, that path made heaven and earth of night, and with his love and kind of heart. Noel, Noel, Noel. Sounds like a name to me. They're singing praises about Noel. So this goes for all those people who said the Jews that were supposed to be waiting for their king. Well, yeah. Once again, still didn't find him when he came. But we're gonna digress from that. Now that we got this song, importantly to Noel, out the way, this will be a fun topic. Excuse me. Best way to handle this is the simplest way. Alrighty. So, I guess I should express more about myself and the context of it. But let's go into the naming first. This will be relatively important. You can take this if you want, but it's important because it's related to names. Let's just do this. How I'm gonna start it off with the naming, because the naming is important. Now, and here I'm obviously at this point using Discord at the time, just for context and understanding. Zechariah the prophet, by the way. And by the way, fun fact, my dad used to call me Zephaniah, but I'll explain that immediately in the future to come. That's in this video. Zechariah the prophet, chapter 7:3. And to speak to the priests of the house of the Lord of hosts, and to his prophets, by the way, saying, now that I am returned from exile, should I weep in the 5th month, separating myself as I have done in many years in Babylon? And just for that fact, I had known her for 5 months, and rather the 5th month was December for us, just to put into more retrospect. And this, that you understand this as I express how this 5th month, remember these 5 months are important and part of my, not only 2 months, but my life in general. But anyway, she like wolves, and I have 2 parts for that for the Bible. It says, for those who are friends of, say this is not right, I say this is totally right in a contextual sense. And I will explain how this part is right. With the wolf shall dwell with the lamb. If order shall be brought back, the wolf tends to hunt the lamb. But, if you're talking about bringing order to it, then boom, the leopard would love to hunt the goat. The calf and the lion, why wouldn't they? The fat and calf together makes sense. So all those who say otherwise, well, they just don't understand why the wolf is there. And I'm going to explain that too. And they can deny it. And I'm going to bring out a bunch of people, and they will have no excuse whatsoever. So they can claim otherwise, but I'm sorry, but the truth shall be known. I have nothing to hide, and they have something to hide. In this, from this point on, not only will I be putting myself on the spot, which I don't have a problem with, I will be putting other people on the spot, because as I talk about my life, there people who's connected to my life will be mentioned, because that is me expressing the truth. Now, anyone that chooses to hide has something to hide, and that's them. But I'm putting my life like I did last month, but I did majority of my life for eternity's sake. I will do again, and I have no problem. And I was planning to do this. Everything was done orderly and decently. Moving on. Now, mind you, above, the use of lion used to be there, because everyone knows the lion should lay down with the lamb. But let me tell you, the lion disappeared, 2016. Why? If you think the lion as a restraining force, keeping back predators, since lions aren't predators to the lamb in this case, it's more since prey for predators to no longer fight. Plus, the lamb represents the lamb who taketh the sin sin or sin the world, sins the world away. Anyways, the way of the world. Anyways, the lion usually represented the Lion of Judah, which meant Judah's protector. Now, the lion. Now that the lamb, like the Lion King, the lion, the king of the jungle, is gone, the whole prophecy of Isaiah of this moment rests upon the fact that animals, aka opposites, will no longer fight. They shall get along in harmony, and it will be a sense for pairing the wolf and the lamb, or these are two natural foes in the entire Bible. No, you always beware of wolves and sheep, where I am sending you out into the world in the midst of wolves as you sheep go. So he's saying there have to be in sync together, meaning you have to go and live with wolves. Now if there was two to lay down in the form of peace, then boom, but not in peace. This is going to go in further detail. We're gonna go past this, and this will be expressed. Because remember, this is part of my Discord. And for all those who claim otherwise, they thought I was joking when I said I was gonna bring the whole truth and nothing but the truth. They better they have nothing fair, then they'll be fine. If they want to hate this taking down, then they have something to hide that they need to deal with. Moving on. So that's me putting myself on front row for no problem. Because all you people who claim to you gotta have no shame, you all are the ones always hiding. Always. I do things decently in order. If I'm not in plain sight for a reason, I will come in plain sight. Now remember, the wolf and lamb should dwell together. And I know someone named Woofy about it way. But moving on. What people forget to dealing with the reading is both sides. So while certain animals with certain characters are prophecy, the lamb usually is whoever knows. But no one knows the wolf. And the wolf always has a bad rep. Think of the bad wolf from Doctor Who, by the way. Take that into account. That's how imaginations and stuff works. Move on. Now going to the future of Revelation or end times. Now remember, whenever they talk about speaking honestly, directly a bride, we're gonna go past that. That's gonna be. We're gonna come back to that. That's gonna be like a bam to your knocking. No offense to anyone, and that's not and say, oh, now you know more. So let's take this step by step. So I'm gonna go down stuff most of you know from my other video, and this is me telling someone. Now, go down like anyways, boom, 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 because we're going to talk about the naming, right? So I said this is going to be related to me. This video, personal revelation, so you can know me. So because you obviously want to know how could I come up with that last 2-hour video and say such thing. So now you will know me, and I will explain this in a very long form. Oh boy, oh well. I do this because it's for the sake of humanity, that everyone is saved, not just the few. But some people have to change their ways because some things are not going to be acceptable because it goes against the natural order of things. So certain groups of people know who they are that's going against the natural order of things. Just saying. No offense meant. It's just how it is. You either living the right way or living backwards. Sorry. There's one way to truth, alright? Multiple ways. The truth don't have no contradictions, folks. Moving on. Take someone else's advice, thinking it's a metaphor, and they'll be stuck on earth worshiping the wrong thing. Now that I revealed this, let me reveal something from my past in 2016, and I'm going to go outward from there. So I went purposely, by the way, I went purposely, my own design, to a hospital for a mental checkup, because I was already aware of this in 2016, which I will show you. I told someone about this prior to this, and matter of fact, I'm going to go into the person I told this about, laid to the beast and all prior to this, before I go on to me, so you can understand that I am mentally sane. I have always been mentally sane, and I willingly chose to go there regardless of what anyone was think. I chose to go there. So because I was already aware of stuff that was happening, it was too early for all of you, because I tried to explain this to people and they didn't want to listen. So I'm like, you know what, I can go to sleep for two more years, not actual sleep, but more like I'm going to temporarily just restrain myself for your sake, and gradually bring it back up again, because I will never stop. I'll just find new ways to do stuff, always. Now, I knew too much ahead of time between 16 because I'm brilliant. And that's me not being prideful. I'm literally brilliant. Thank you. And you will understand why. I watched the video with my stepdad, bless his soul, for taking care of me, despite the difference he may have. He's good at heart, and you know that his intentions as a stepfather, father in general, as I've always forgiving him. May you and mother, I know I get mad at him. I get mad at him a lot. That don't mean I don't love him. There's a difference. Since you guys entrusted him, or rather, he was entrusted. He was granted to be my protector and provider for a time, or it was the honor of, such things. His name, birth name being, regardless of what may add it, was Daryl Edward Davis. Because, if you're a part of my story, I'm going to tell you the whole truth. So, he stayed true to his mission, even though he's gone astray in his own ways. I love him to death, don't get me wrong. Love him to eternity, don't get me wrong. Now, Daryl Edward Davis, Daryl means beloved, Edward meaning wealthy guardian, Davis, son of David, check that out. Side note, Davis, as in Welsh, surname may be a corruption of deified or a Welsh poem. The name deified or David is generally translated human to as English as David. Davis alternately is a patronymic surname originating in Wales that means son of David, by the way. So combined, my actual stepfather still, not my biological father, because I don't actually have that. I'll show you that too, which I knew 2016 for sure. The beloved, wealthy guardian of the son of David. That's, if you put his name in that context, that's what it means. Moving on. My birth name, which you can always ask my mother. I'm sure she loves it. She loves sharing the story of how she actually named me, and that the fact that one of my sisters was 8 years in front of me, another one 8 years behind me, another one behind her 4 years, and another one behind her 4. But combine that's 4 eighths. But that's a whole nother thing we can get into. Now, so let me get the name in the meaning, which is Christian Deontay Jeffers. My name, Christian, a follower of Christ, so to speak. Dante, the name Dante is the Italian baby name. In Italian, meaning Dante, the Italian form of Durand, meaning enduring. Famous bearer, the poet Dante Alighieri wrote the Divine Comedy, because this is truly a divine comedy at the end of the day for me. Anyways, with its graphic description of a medieval hell known as Dante's Inferno. The Jeffers surname is a patronymic name that comes from the personal names Geoffrey, like from Doctor Who, and Godfrey. These names appear in Old English as Geoffrey and the Old French as Geoffroy or Geoffrey. And the name Jeffers make use of patronymic suffixes, son. By the way, if you're going to complain about naming sense or pronunciation, well, the words are still there in your face, so you're just going to have to stick it. And that's that's not a knock on anyone. I'm just saying if you're still focused too heavily on names, you're going to lose the main one you're going to supposed to be focusing on. Moving on, which has superseded all other suffixes in popularity by the 14th century. Same 14th century when the letter J became popular, around the same time. Mostly common north of Britain. The suffix was sometimes abbreviated with S, like Jeffers. Yeah. Anyways, like son Jeffers without the S-O-N. Anyways, many Welsh joined the Great Migration to America. You can read this, pause this yourself, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Now let me go into Jeffers and how far lived. Thomas and John Jeffers, Virginia Jeffers, a bunch of Jeffers. That is a lot of people related to me. I'm pretty sure somewhere down the road they all, are some way intertwined. And this isn't have nothing to do with race. This is over different races, nonetheless. But let's continue on. Historians from Jeffers found U.S. Arizona. Mr. Warren E. Jeffers, American seaman, first class, working aboard the USS Arizona when she sank during the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor of the 7th December of 1941. He survived the sinking. So if you put my name together and you do actually research, that means allowed to another name. But or should I say that alludes, I feel allowed because it's allowed. Get it? Allowed. I like allowed. We're gonna go with allowed. That meaning allows to another name because I'm free and I'm not limited by anyone's expression, but I am not going to have a contradiction. So me saying that meaning is allows to another name isn't truly a contradiction if you know what the word means to begin with. To allow something meaning what? It's pretty self-explanatory. I know I'm not talking to idiots, but I'm just trying to open your thought process a bit here. No offense meant. Now, but if I would say the real meaning in birth form is, by the way, comes from Godfrey. It would be like walking the path of the Messiah, the famous bearer of your sins. Now, that could be one way to look at it. Let's stick together as I give you my name according to birth. And this is just one beginning. You're walking the journey to know me now, which I have found out that name, particular name, which leads you to Emmanuel, which is in 2016 by merely looking at my birth name. Easy peasy, by the way. That was going to be a challenge once that's happening. Weird ME, Mandela effect stuff. That was supposed to either cause them to focus on effect or focus on me, laugh my ass off on finding the truth. But no, everyone in the Mandela effect all go crazy. This word change, that word change. Like, get y'all grip together. You see this happening, but y'all all start chasing after words. That's I'm gonna get to those people. But that's just how dumb. Instead of focusing on finding God and rightfully dividing the word truth, you guys got lost in the confusion. Good job. You're lucky I'm beyond your understanding when it comes to trying to save your asses. No offense, but you Mandela effect people are truly lost in the sense moving forward though. So my real name that I have pretty extensive list of them, but so we're going to start with related to the birth name. So you should feel honored. It isn't the first time I displayed it, but no one believed me, so I concealed it with help of course, in 2016 to 2017 before you met me. Okay, because in this reference to people that I'm talking to on Discord, because it's the glory of God to conceal a thing or think it's appropriate time to be made known. So to give you a little insight, while Christ, this is actually a divine comedy. So Christ, let me correct this. He came to, let's remove that. Well, this is going to be funnier if I keep it that way. Whatever, I'll keep it that way. Because it's going to be a divine comedy when I'm done. I'm going to be laughing at the very least. And you can either believe me or you cannot. That's your choice. I'm still going to have the last laugh. Try me and bet how much you want to bet I'm going to have if I'm going to have the last laugh or not. You gamble with that one. But we'll continue on because I'm not trying to laugh at you in the sense of mockery. And though those people who try to come mock me end up being mocked because they attack. So I'm like, okay, defense counter, moving forward. I have to deal with the matters in heaven. Also didn't accept my, divine kinship. Anyways, this is truly a divine comedy. I'm going to skip all this just makes me laugh too much. So I knew this all, by the way, in 2016 of who the beast was and so forth. Tried to tell certain people, didn't want to listen. Then they fucking called me crazy. Excuse my language, but they're fucking insane. And they're like, one time said, oh, bruh, I'm no. Like, bruh, me and my stepdad in the show I told you about, Cosmos of Space Odyssey, by the way. Yeah, go look for it, watch it. I broke down how that explained the universe and the world on a very simplistic level. So me and him watching this show, it has one of the most beautiful planet that's green. Imagine if you could actually breathe in outer space. Now everyone thinks that space is a void, but what they don't comprehend is there's no fucking barrier to contain the air. Plus, if waters are above, below, and water is just a fluid. Air flows like a fluid. So yeah, you can go up and breathe in space. It's just they thought it was nothing there. Like their brains was nothing there. But let me help you. Think about this. Dark energy, dark matter. Enough said? Moving on. So, hopefully, we're going to move forward. Because this is truly comedic at its truest sense. Let's see. Where are we at right now to the times? I'm looking pretty sexy to me right now. Anyways. So, we have what? Dark energy, dark matter exists everywhere. What? Dark matter. Everywhere. Everywhere. Freaking idiots. Even when they find part of the truth, they don't even understand. So sad. Moving on. However, I will show you the importance of the picture of the real work. Now, when you see this, it's going to look chaotic to you, but I'm going to break it down regardless. That my amazingly comparable mind, by the way, you have that is here for you. So imagine how nature is like, hey guys, I'm trying to help you guys too, but y'all keep fucking up. So I send all these things that you normally would fucking die if you actually exist. If this happened for 1 billion of years, you all will be dead. I'm just letting you know. Now, part of my writing is pretty chaotic. Now, if you look at this, I'm not going to say it isn't chaotic. I understand what's written, but you don't, because well, you didn't write it. I did. That's why to you would be chaotic. But let me break down what this says. This is a correlation to, by the way, Space Odyssey Cosmos, Space Odyssey with Neil deGrasse. In the first episode, it breaks this down. The very first episode, before it goes anywhere else. And this is what it means, translated into plain English. The Earth, you have the Earth, then you have the solar system. You have the Milky Way, then you have the local group of galaxies. Then you have a Virgin, supercluster, Virgin, anyways. Supercluster. Moving on, you have an observable universe, and then I said observable. Basically, quite literally, you're going to be raptured out in some form of spaceship, but I'm not going to express because you think that the physical and the spiritual aren't meant to be together for some illogical reason that you think about this. I don't know. History Channel, Chariots of the Gods, Chariots of the Elohim. Wait, but believe what you want. Of course, there's just spiritual matters. I'm not denying the spiritual for sake of the picture. There's real demons I have to talk about in my story, as this journey is one journey that you would never be able to make. And I don't mean that to say it, but you wouldn't be able. Let me clarify. I do not have a biological father on earth. No one. Nope. No one. Nope. I don't. Nope. I don't. I don't. Let me clarify. I don't. Doesn't have one. Get it? So yeah, let that sink in now. Let that sink in. And I'm going to show you proof from my freaking own birth certificate. And you can take it for whatever you want. Now, moving on. My remembrance of transcend for me, by the way. Actually, me just coming back and stuff I already had inside me. But it was like, I bet, bring it on. And like, no one wanted to listen. So I'm like, fine, whatever. I'll go back to sleep because y'all crazy. Anyways, I was telling everyone in my house. They didn't believe me. Even though my stepdad actually caught a glimpse of the light shining on my head for a moment when I was speaking nothing but the truth. His words were exactly this. I'm in the middle of my kitchen. The window is behind me. The light is coming. Is not able to shine. So we can't say it's a light because there's a literal house with a wall behind me. I'm reading Isaiah to them. And he's like, there's a glow of light on your head. His words, not mine, by the way. You can choose to believe what you want, but those were his words. Now, moving on. Since I was under spiritual attack under that time, by the way, it was quite the battle, but good always wins. But I digress. So, because they didn't understand me, I put in a weird coded message around. So then I went to the hospital. I was literally saying, the time is nigh, awaken people. My bad. As we will return home to our planet, a new sight in sight. I kept pointing up, but I knew what was true, but they drugged me. Well, I mean, I let them, to be frank, but I gave them a little Russell tussle so they can realize that if I was really trying to hurt them. I had 5 people. My weight class, or weight, is 124. Yeah, let that sink in. I'm 124, 125, basically. 5'6", and I have 5 people, matter of fact. They're at least, let's give them at least 160. They're regular build, and it took 5 of them to hold me down. And only granted because my intention wasn't to harm them. No, it was a wrestle. It took 5 people. You imagine that. Moving forward, I'm sure you've seen other people. You'll say, oh, maybe you're possessed, blah, blah. No, I was not possessed. I clarify that for a fact. Never been possessed. Moving on. They couldn't harm me if they tried. It took 5 people to hold me down. I wasn't angry at them. But remember, I was telling them a name. One of my nicknames, Ryu. You'll understand when I play the video. And I will be playing it. And I'll give credit because it's part of one of my nicknames that I'm known as. Now, here's something you should listen. Because if you read this song, you understand. I'm going to go to that song eventually, but we're going to continue on. They were looking intently into the sky. He was going suddenly with two men, and the men of Galilee said, "Why do you stand here?" And it said, "Man said, stand here, looking in the sky. The same Jesus who had been taken from you into heaven will come back in the same way you have seen him go into heaven." Meaning he left as a human, will come back as a human. Simple as that. They returned to Jerusalem from the Mount of Olives. They went to the Mount of Olives. Yeah. Looking up the mountain, waiting. Yeah. Which is near the city on the Sabbath day journey away. What Acts 11:111, what does 1:1 symbolize? The principles of spiritual awakening, enlightenment, high energy, inspiration. So, bruh, angel messages. Come on, bruh. Everything is interconnected, intertwined. You just gotta look. Open your eyes. Stop being blinded all the time. Now, why do you stand here looking in the sky? This same Jesus who had been taken from you. Same Jesus. Think about it. Why are the guys looking up there? Oh, nothing for our Lord's return. Oh, okay. I'm he, or from he came me. Anyway, so if he left, immortal, by the way, through a process for your sake, because I will explain this. Now, let me explain why I say me when I say Noel. My birth, you can disagree or agree, will be elaborated. The perfect storm of the end time events is coming soon. Bible, October 5th, 2015. The perfect storm of the end time events is coming soon. Events are lining up for the return of Jesus Christ to this earth. 2015, by the way. Okay, that's technically, by the way, that's 3 days before my actual birth, by the way. 3 days. Jesus in the perfect storm. Perfect storm. Jesus in the perfect storm. The first two elements of Jesus' perfect storm are comparatively easy. God had promised to come back to return his people with power. And what? So 20, if you add that up, that's 8, perfection. Or, my bad, infinity in true sense is when sideways. Now, October 10th, the day I was born, and October means 8, but moving on, the 8th became the 10th. October is the 10th month. In the morning, in the modern day Gregorian calendar, the name October is derived from octo, which means 8. What? 810. There you go. Calendar, the system, by the way. March 13, 2016 was the official day of ME. That started, by the way. Now, it mentions a perfect storm. Description based on a true story. The film tells of a courageous man and woman who risked their lives every working day, pitting their fish boats, rescue vessels against the capricious forces of nature. Their worst fears are realized at sea on October, Halloween, of my birth year, 1991, when they are confronted by 3 raging weather fronts, which unexplainably collide to produce the greatest, fiercest storm in modern history, the perfect storm. Now, 13 victims, by the way, were killed on that. 1991, perfect storm, total fatalities. Who died? 13 people. A perfect storm is an event in which a rare combination of circumstances drastically aggravates the event. The term used by ethnology is an unusual, severe storm that results from a combination of meteorological phenomena. A sense of distraction on the way. Anyways, perfect storm is how God, the Father, returns. Like, the clouds were dark. Anyways, the perfect storm of end times event is coming soon. Once again, this is 8. The perfect storm. Now, the storm times and coming soon events are lining up for the return of Jesus Christ as well as the Father. So, if you count October 5th to 7th, that is 3 days. 5, 6, 7. Now, and Jesus said also, when you see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye, there cometh a shower, and so it is. And when you see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh pass, ye hypocrites. You can discern the face of the sky and the earth, but how can you not discern the times? Yeah. Rolling down. So, as you obviously read this, like for example, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of earth mourn. They shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with power and great glory. Now, we must repent. Apparently, this I'm talking to someone. Remember, this still conversation. Someone else, the first person I told all this to, by the way, who rejected the truth. Yes, ain't that something? Who had filthy narcissists, but he has. I'm going to expose him and them all. And I think hell is. They would rather stay in hell, but sorry, they're going to have to come out of hell soon. But I'll explain that. We must be born again. This is a divine comedy, by the way. That's why I put that face there. Now, before I give my many names that only truly known, no one can ever lay claim to, not even my own father or anyone else, earthly wise, can ever lay claim to my names. Now, Emmanuel Dante Godfrey. Remember the relative from my name, Christian Deontay Jeffers, by the way. Emmanuel Dante Godfrey. This is all in 16. I got the names already done. Emmanuel Dante Nola Godfrey. Emperor Dante Godfrey. Godfrey Nola. And this is structured, by the way. You can choose. Now, I'm going to go, this is for all the gamers, and I'm going to novels, or whatever the case may be, to use every form of media to show you the truth has always been in front of you, and y'all been using it. Y'all just never come together to put it together. Now, God free, or God's free to do whatever, as a boy's name is pronounced Godfrey, as the old German origin and meaning of Godfrey is God peace, like Prince of Peace, from the old French name Godfrey. From German God, the word God, meaning God equals good, like, yeah. Anyways, what's that? Oh, let me help you. God, free God, he's free, will, free. Anyways, free do whatever. Anyways, Fred, peace. Name of 12th century Norman saint, popular during medieval time, where the name was instantly changed by Geoffrey, Godfrey of Bologna, or Balayan, whichever you prefer, was a medieval Frankish knight and crusader leader of the First Crusade. The name Valette, 1960 comic, My Man Godfrey, associated with the word peace, old, good, Norman, saint, popular, medieval knight, warrior, leader, crusade. Now, here is where you should focus on the Old Testament version versus the New with the E, which I tried to explain, but hey. Emmanuel, aka Emmanuel, I am with God, I am Noel. Slang, this is slang, by the way. You look at this is literal slang. God can use whatever you want, however you want. Get the facts straight. Masculine, personal name, by the way, from Greek form of Hebrew, Emmanuel, literally meaning God is with us. From Amana, with us. With us. So, from I'm, with first person pronunciation, God. I'm. Yep, what? Trivia, here's go. I'm a B is a song performed by American hip-hop group, the Black Eyed Peas, taken from their 5th studio album, The End, like at the end times. The song title is expression, meaning I'm going to be and I will be, something or some activity. I'm going into Noel. Yeah, I'm going to express this, and then I'm going to go into my story. But giving you the name gives you the qualities of character you're dealing with. Noel knows God. God knows. There's a song I listen to for all you anime lovers and don't mind cover lovers. This God knows song. Slang knows for no. Ironically, God knows was the song that came around this same time as the Manila Effect. A boy's name, also less commonly a girl's name, is pronounced Noel or Noël. It is of French origin, and the meaning of Noel is Christmas, right? Now, Noel, in late 14th century, Noel, feast of the Christmas, from Old Latin, Noel, the Christmas Eve, a variant of Nael from Natalis, dies, or birthday, and Church Latin reference of birthday of Christ from natis, past of nasi, be born, Now, the modern word in English with the sense Christmas carol, probably a separate borrowing from French as a masculine proper name from Old French, meaning of or born on Christmas. Now, Noel is French for Christmas, but originates from Latin derived. What's this? Latin. Lucifer, Latin. Noel, Latin. Anyways, derived from language forms for the word from the Latin. Funny how Latin is such a unique language that spreads throughout all languages. Moving on. From the Latin natalis, which means birth, and German means circle. The second S can be considered added on purely for pronunciation. Noel may also reference a role in a story. For example, in the Final Fantasy, for your game lovers, Final Fantasy 13-2, which was a pain for some people to understand, but it wasn't me. He is given a new life or birth when he arrives in Valhalla and granted a chance of changing the world's fate. His name juxtaposes with Yoel or Yule is another name word for Christmas. His name pronounced Noel instead of Noel, like the normal English given name of Noel in French and the Japanese version. His name is Norel, aka Dante, by the way. The boy's name, come on, you can pretty much read this, meaning to endure, to withstand. Yep, endure to withstand. And then it talks about that. Now, Chris, aka in regards to Noel in relation to that game I spoke of. I can use many medias to use stories, novels to explain the same thing. Christ, 2S by the way, take note of that. Christ, 8 infinity. In German, Chris, circle. So you add an S, you're adding a second circle. A nickname for a noisy person from High German Chris, to cry noise. And German topographic name for someone who lives by a circular feature. From Middle Low German, Christ, circle. Jewish, of Ashkenazi, from German circle, circular field, border. From Latin personal name Christos, Christ. See Christian, the name Christ, Latin Christos, is from the Greek Christos, and derivative from crying to anoint. A claw of Hebrew is the Messiah, which literally means to the anointed, but that's also a variant of Christa. But we're gonna move on from there now. And this is going to go into a whole story. Now, like I said, I'm going to start about me. We're going to move that. Now you know my names in that reference. Now let me share my past. And why is my thing being updated? This is very important, servers, where I'm sharing this, because this is a part of the story I'm about to express. And this is going to be a fun story, at least for me. So I've already expressed my name and me, and I have, once again, I'll bring up my stuff. You can go and look for yourself. Anything that's was there. Here's my Facebook. You make your own decision on the matter. You make your own decision on the matter. We're moving on. I am in streamer mode. Let's just hit that for that sake. Alright, so from here on, I'm going to start off with my stuff I've been through this past 2 months and beyond. And I'm going to go to the very first person I started telling this stuff to. Oh, they're going to love this. Love it, because guilt is written. See, let's start with this. And if they did nothing wrong, they have nothing to fear. If they did nothing wrong, but the guilty knows what they've done, and they have nothing to speak of. This, especially this person. This person is. There's guilt written like no tomorrow. Alright, we're going to go. There's a reason why. So just to clarify, this person in general was supposed to. Let's just say he has some wrong idea on matters, and we'll get into that. But I'm going to be exposing, that bull crap soon. It's the same person, by the way, just for context, was a part of his server. I ran his server, basically, for an entire year, became an admin. I didn't ask for it. I just did it because I'm just that kind of person. I help. But he kicked me because he was jealous of me, which you'll get into that soon. But I'm just giving you context as to why this person, of many people, are about to be made into a literal meme, because I'm about to meme the fuck out of them. Excuse my language, because, sometimes you need to laugh. If we're all too tense and serious, you'll be up and up And you don't think your creator has a sense of humor? You all are in the way. Anyways, so this is part of a story in itself. But this man comes to me. He already like cut me off one time because of his own bullcrap. I'm like, alright, I'll give him a chance, you know? So I'm going down real quick. This is let's see. 02, the month where it started. I'm like, okay, bet. Now I have a girl. She's mine. No one can take her. But that's neither here nor there. I'm talking to this man, and he's talking about typical stuff. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, bro, at one point, it's a usual conversation, but I know certain things are not right. But this is way back when, right? We're gonna fast forward now. We're now gonna fast forward. It's just way back when. And if this person has done nothing wrong, they have no reason to lie, by the way. And like I said, this is not for just kids. This will be not some sensitive story. Truth is stranger than fiction. It is the truth, and that is facts. Love you guys, but I'm not gonna lie to you about stuff. Oh no. I don't got time for that. Because this guy already knew about some of my past, anyways, as I shared with him about when I used to role play and so on. But we're gonna continue on, and this is from the past role plays. Use that needs to be dealt with. Moving on. Like I said, it is not safe for kids. It's like Conan and whatnot, because this is the raw, unscripted version. So like I said, if you have kids, I advise you, for your sake, to watch this for them, because I am not being held accountable for what you allow your kids to watch. I'm just letting you know. You let them play Grand Theft Auto, and that shit's just worse than this. So don't come to me in my video about me saying stuff because you are some control freak that can't let go, by the way. Because that's usually what happens. Most of you people try to control your kids instead of just properly guiding them and allowing them come to their own accountability. At the end of the day, we'll get there in a sec. It's just taking a moment to go through all the stuff that, this guy, I'm gonna have a fun day. Oh yeah, this is about to be one fun video. Whoop. Moving down. Oh boy. I'm going through this on purpose, by the way. Yep. Purpose, like when we're gonna skip past that. This is why I'm reading through it, regardless, because this is stuff that is going to be there. It's the real, raw truth. Like, I don't got time for all that, I'm censoring this because of blah, 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 and so forth, because if you listen, you're going to hear a story that doesn't need to be censored. And if you censor it, just shows that you aren't into the truth, because you people, as I throw down, can watch freaking Game of Thrones with its level of incest, but if you censor this because of a little nudity, hypocrites, you will truly be. I'm just letting you know. Anyways, this man at one point basically getting to the point where he basically abandoned people because and excuse me for the raw stuff, it's raw. I mentioned it's gonna be raw. I'm not gonna lie to you, just how it is. So what's this? Alright, this is the man. Alright, so this man kicked me from his server because of jealousy, which I'm going to this. This is all part of jealousy. So I'm like, bro, I'm not talking to you to forgive me, but you can read all that, pause it, and read yourself. It's collectively going to come together. But I gave this man 70 infinite chances, and he didn't take them. And there's only so much time I can waste on people that won't take a chance. and they know the truth before anyone else of you who knew what I told you. This person, for a fact, who was the leader of this wicked crew, and I know he lies because someone will show you and make a meme out of it. We'll make it so meme-ish. So I forgave him, giving these guys chances. I'm working on my hearts of hearts. I'm not even using the me that is telling you. Now I'm just using the me of heart that was never changed. Alright, so we're gonna finally talk to me, and I had a situation that happened because people wanted to lie, right? So by the way, I love this great marriage advice. Sometimes you just need to shut the fuck up. Applicable to not just males, but females as well. Both males and females sometimes need to shut up when they're talking too much. Sometimes. But I have to talk a lot because of the express of this video. But I find they're like funny satire. Yeah, I'm giving them I'm not paid or promoted by them. As you see, I'm just going through this stuff because stuff happens. I bet. Moving on. So, what's this? Moving on. This is gonna get very detailed. Very yeah. This might get very detailed. Fun times. Ooh, was that a picture of my arm? Oh yeah. So one time, by the way, just to bear this picture, I got a random cut by my cat. Didn't bleed, by the way, just for the record. It was just a random cut. You would think it bleed. It didn't cut. It wasn't even by my cat, for the record. Like I said, I've dealt with demons before, and I'm just letting you know that now. Moving forward. Now, this is all going to be explained. And by the way, this is the official day. I had another spiritual attack on me. Demonic. Not self-inflicted, by the way. I had nothing sharp. I sleep wrapped in a cover in a chair where nothing sharp is there. This was, yeah. The part where I say I'm allowed to kill a kid is more so related to the amount of stress I'm dealing with. Not that I'm actually going to kill anyone. Because this happens. Moving on. And then the first time, by the way. Had stuff like this happen in 2016. So, moving past this real quick. Let's see. It was all about accountability and so forth. But where did I start talking to this man? Alright. So, me and him started talking during this moment of life, which is I'm starting with this point for a reason, because it sets the tone for everything else that happens. So I'm talking to him. He's the first person to know everything I'm sharing with you guys, and tried to betray me. So I'm like, even family betray. But I mean, Jesus already mentioned this. What happened, right? So bam. So he's like telling me he's getting watery eyes and all this stuff. And he's trying to constantly talk about, he's trying to share a fear point about freaking coronavirus. Fear this, fear that. So I'm like, okay, this happened. Look, this happened. Okay, this happened. I already told you the numbers because he brought it up. I'm like pointing, they even promoting like in the world virus-related movies and whatnot. So I'm just sharing that with him temporarily. AKA, you already know what I said about the coronavirus. Enough said, but I'm starting that as another basis and whatnot. And so forth. And from there, I'm going to go down. So this is all him wanting to talk about the coronavirus. So, I humored him because he wanted to talk about it. I gave him, all of that information. While still, at this time, I was dealing with other stuff and collecting all this information in January for your sake. I was still talking to people doing this and whatnot. And gave people so many chances. But at a certain point, you're going to see a war start. And that's related to my entire life in general. But I started with this man. He's like, so the problem is I have a friend who's a Christian, right? So I'm talking about someone very important to me. And then I'm like, yeah, this is where it's going to kick off. Because there's one guy who's crucial to the story, aka the same person I'm talking about is actually Bowen Express. But he likes to act like he isn't. It's going to get pretty out there. So this applies to Grimm, which is Bowen's cover name. And I'm like basically talking to this guy named Grimm. So I'd read it out. I don't know why people around you know it too well, but I do notice the influence I see. I'm talking to a very special friend of mine who I'm taking me, fiance. Moving on. Our last voice chat meeting with Zero there. You want to know what I felt like, spiritual fiance, by the way. I felt like dealing with a very immature person that couldn't get his way, ready to throw his temper tantrum over a mod, aka a modification in a game. This person named Grim. He literally got tell everyone to shut the fuck up one day, and we were kind enough to tell him. But I told him to be quiet while I'm talking to my co-owner, by the way, and he throws a fucking temper tantrum talking about I'm entitled to American freedom, but he's in my server, bruh. Sorry, when you're in my domain, you respect the rules. You get the moving, and you left like a crybaby. But I'm expressing this, and this is him playing the fool or playing dumb. I know it is. You'll see how. We're gonna move forward because I kept recordings for my own safety, and on my, it's a reason for that. Now, I called him out and everything, and he's trying to cover from the guy saying he's gay and bi, but the same guy named Grim I'm talking about is like into bondage. Yeah, let that sink in. Just like basically Bowen's trying to cover for himself by saying he's gay. Ain't that some shit? Anyways, I'm like, he got mad at Koala, total red flags, blah, 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 so forth. Now, I'm still talking to this guy, mind you. I'm fast forward a bit. This coronavirus-related stuff. Look how I show this in reference to Resident Evil zombies. This is tip of the iceberg, boys. Once they get forward, it's going to be like, stop selling. Now, during the time of December, something happened, but it wasn't because I needed him. It was more of reconciling a certain phase of life that everyone needs to go through before they need to change their ways, so to speak. Or maybe they need a new way that doesn't infringe upon free will. But we move on. So my topic switched from the whole coronavirus to God. Purposely, by the way. So it's like, his relationship going strong. I'm getting to all that. Everything has been relatively good. Talking to different people, yada yada. The truth, relation, 10 commandments, all that stuff I done in January. It's like, that sounds good. So this is where I'm gonna start sharing stuff with him. And this goes in, like, in regards to marriage topic, relates to not committing, adultery. And he's like, yeah, everyone's broken that. And like, yeah. So, look at 10 commandments and, all that crap. But, it's, I shared this link, which I don't mind. If you want to type this link in, go for it. But it's one of the many things that I have, and I give them a link about marriage and how it plays a certain role. And you can pause it, type it in, and look and read it yourself. I gotta save it as PDF because it expresses the 10 Commandments very well and what they stand for. Now you can choose to disagree, that's fine. But the person who came with rich happiness, you are brilliant person. I give you your due credit because you structured the truth in a way that is comprehensible for people, and I respect you for that one. Moving on, respect you for being able to actually do the due diligence. Now we're gonna move on. Now me and this guy is talking about long distance relationships and yada yada yada, and he's like, he keeps this circle very small and so forth, right? Okay, and we're gonna move forward because this was talking about basically the truth and how it really gets kicked off, and talking about, so this is where you see, and let me start here, let me do a little stretch. Okay, now drink some tea. So I started with kindness because kindness is important. People have a misconception of it. Because if you don't warn someone, that's why I go off a cliff. Are you being kind to someone? No. So I'm like, it says, quote, you too talk of miracles. You speak of miraculous solutions for your problems and do not understand the nature of free will. And that miracles are contrary to it to a degree. Remember, this is someone trying to express themselves. These are true, but free will is boundless. Now, this is someone trying to express themselves. Now, they are somewhat on point, but they are missing certain areas. But like I said, like denominations, people have parts of truth and they have parts wrong. You can say I don't have the truth and say I have parts wrong. That's fine. That's your choice, by the way. Moving on. So, and this is from different books, by the way. This is from The Problem of Pain, a book, by the way. Tolerating, this part is from the 10 Commandments. Going, tolerating the intolerant isn't ain't tolerant. It's a route to chaos and sectarian wars a snowball. Meaning you're tolerating someone just because, and then they'll tolerate you just because until it's no longer a fish or need. No, that's just bondage in itself. If you ain't loving one another, what's good for? Now, at the time, I love the song Prince from Egypt, that one with the plagues. It's a profound meaning behind that, And he's like, Prince, it's in Egypt, the animation, the animation from 90s. And here, I'm only going to play a short clip of it because, copyright, But just the beginning gives you goosebumps, like, 1 second. All right. Pestilence of plague is in your house, into your bed, to your strength, into your streets, to your drink, into your bread, into your cattle, on your sheep, and on your ox, in your field, and in your dreams, and to your sleep. I send my sworn, I send the horde, the saith the Lord. Once I called you brother, once I thought the chance to make you laugh. All I ever wanted is thunder from the sky. I send the fire raining down. Even now, I chose another. Heaven is your foe and his behalf. And last thing I want. Morning, guys. This is my favorite part. I'm gonna stop here.
All this pain and devastation, how it tortures me inside. All the innocent who suffer from
your selfishness and pride. And leap on every stalk, and there's nothing left of queen. I send my sword, I send my sword to save the Lord. Now pause it there, because copyright. But I'm sure you felt some goosebumps there. If you didn't, it's because you don't fear the Lord. Anyway. So he's like, the one thing I fear is food infection. He's still trying to talk about corona stuff. And I'm trying to shift away from all that fear-based stuff. So I'm getting into the story of stuff. And I'm like expressing the bias here of when I told someone stuff. But I'm not gonna start that point because it's biased. But these people, Koala, Cad, lucky for Churchill, she got saved before the unfortunate events that we'll be explaining in the story happened. Occurred. This is a realistic story. You can choose to believe it or not, but I have no reason to lie to you. I'm putting my face out there, not for any other reason but the truth's sake. So once again, I have nothing to hide. These people, certainly, and I got them real good, boy. I got them real good. But hey, look. So in this, I'm basically talking about God, right? I'm talking about God. I'm hitting the notes. Feel free to pause and whatnot. And he's learning all this, and I'm expressing the hypocrisy of how I got betrayed in December after I went out the way out of kindness and they betrayed me. Boy, oh boy, the betrayal was real. I do not like betrayal. I cannot stand betrayal. Oh boy, I cannot stand it. Not whatsoever. Moving on. So I'm like talking to him. He's like, I avoided from it. I tend to bury it. I regret it later. Because I'm like, if you forsake your friendship, then what values are worth? It's why I'm so impartial to people, because they need to hear the truth regardless. That's why in the last conversation we had, he was like, I don't like to talk in public. I'm talking about Koala. He likes to talk shit about people, by the way, and then he likes to not people talk shit about him. Double standard. I know, right? So this is me. You can pause and read this. And me expressing how they betrayed me and how they went out their way to betray me, and it's an ongoing story related to my life, but I'm going through this so you can pause it and read of your own volition, because we're gonna hit the main portion when I start teaching him and whatnot, and he is the one that knew a plethora of things, right? And he keeps trying to throw coronavirus in my face. Ooh, fear porn, bruh. I already knew about this guy John Campbell. I respect the fact that he went out his way to do what he did and explain it. It was very admirable by him. Remember, this is 31:30 before beginning of this month. Very important, by the way. And we're talking about vaccines and viruses and autism and whatnot. As you know, It was never a thing back in 1960s. And he's like agreeing with me. So this man's agreeing with me. Obviously, we're having a very logical conversation. And, he's brought up Kelly doing 72-hour, ironic, quarantine. The government is hiding something, as he says. I'm like, yeah. So we're in agreement. And then I bring up the one world order, the beast says, I don't care, it's not for you. And then he tries to bring up depopulation is their goal. No, it's control is the goal. Anyways, as I said right there, they probably already got a cure, only for the least. My God, watch over us, as he says this. And watch him, how he's gonna twist his tongue like a fucking devil serpent. Oh man, this man. These are the type of people you should be aware of. Ooh. But anyways, we're talking about it, and I'm expressing like, class system and so forth, because, class systems are real and so forth. We're going into the media, and we're leading into this. This was a good song. This was laid to my friend and whatnot. And it's been, talking about issues and whatnot, right? This is all before the war, by the way. Before the war. Now, this song lyrics, I found, once again, through the way I told you how to pray in the beginning with the Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, at least in that context, even though that's the basics of basics. I found this song lyrics, ironically 101 at the time. I actually love, apparently. Note this. Hold it up. I'm talking to someone, I don't remember. The devil has a belief too, don't be a hypocrite. And are you with the devil then as well? How come? Do you know me? No, so you have no right to say it. This is someone trying to talk about me, and they're not even listening, because I'm sharing these conversations. And I went against an entire server, by the way. I have screenshots of an entire server trying to argue with me, and they had no standpoint. And I'm just like, bruh, what was your point? Nonetheless, it's not intent to be argument. I came humble, and they came and they went offensive on me. But moving on. So I'm still talking to this guy. This is the main culprit. I gotta assume that was a Jehovah Witness, because I used the word reproof. What? So, if you try to come at me and disrespect me, I'm gonna go savage on you. And by savage, I mean you're gonna get what you threw at me back at you like a reflection. So, I'm talking to this guy. When I chose to be meek, everyone think I'm young and stupid. Time to drop that 500+ word reply on their stubborn behinds. Really, it's that so many people in the comment section make it. So I was dealing with talking to people on YouTube, and they would always try to comment, and I would talk to them. I would try to talk to them, and they will always have this form of arrogance. So this is during pre-war, like I call this month the month of what the heck. But as you see here, I'm on YouTube posting stuff and talking to people and giving them well thought out logical stuff. You can pause and read some of that you want, but I'm dealing with multiple conversations at the time, and so on. Alright, so here is, I'm talking to him. This is when something's amiss, where my beloved is going through some stuff, and I'm aware. But I'm talking to him, and prior to this is stuff related to another server who they basically tried to lie and twist and got mad because I used certain things because they want to control their server. I'm like, I bet. And this is me sharing everything with Bowen that I've shown you. All this he has, bruh. All that moving forward, he has no excuse. He's the last person to have any excuse of the stuff. Look here, I explain to you how to properly do and read the Bible prophecy wise. It says, here are my thoughts that align. Serious students of scripture know the first rule of study is that set apart scriptures always interpret scriptures. In addition, believers in the Messiah know that everything found in the Old Testament is a type and flash or shadow of something in the New Testament, also applicable that it will apply to the future. Every prophetic revelation, vision, dream can only be correctly interpreted as a figurative representations that equal literal, physical realities. But don't forget there's the spiritual realities, even though that's not said in there. Every attempt to interpret any prophetic dream or vision as literal apart from figurative will always rely on confusion. Meaning if you don't do it properly, it's confusion. Now, almost every prophecy speaker or teacher I've heard in my life makes this fatal error. I have searched high and low and cannot find one instance where a prophetic vision, dream, flash, or revelation can be interpreted figurative equals literal and literal equals literal too. Example, a beast in a prophetic dream, vision, and revelation is always a figurative representative of a literal kingdom, and it never means a literal beast in the regards of this day and age, unlike when, the serpent was the serpent. Now, with these absolute rules of hermetic interpretation of reality in the matter, also food for thought, repentance, word that is fairly used in religious circles but have lost its intended meaning. It actually means turn away from what we think is right and wrong and come into complete agreement with what the Creator has decreed to be right and wrong, as revealed in the Scriptures. What you think is of the true meaning of repentance is coming in to full agreement with the Most High, according to His eternally established word. Why in the world would anyone ever be intentionally live in disagreement with the King of the universe, like the eternal one, your actual Creator? You're gonna go against. Okay. Anyway, so food for thought, if it means turn away from what we think is right, wrong, in complete agreement with Him, what must you truly turn away from? Is it not the world? You have your thoughts of what you think is right and wrong because the world, aka humanistic beast system, taught you how friendship with the world is enmity with God. Also, another good line that came out from dealing with among brothers, aka, sometimes you people have to come together. If y'all can't disagree, this is why y'all are separate. Moving on. Now this goes into my life. After doing that, this is where this man learned from my life. Before the war, all divinely steps taken, step by step. So nevertheless, I go into talking about me. And this is 4-9. What's up? 13. Anyways. Nevertheless, I must continue. Do you know the 2-3 songs of anime base? Now this is going to be, I'm sure, me. Anime base that resonated the most with me back in 2016. Yeah, back in 2016. God Knows, Before My Body Dries, Fast One is another song as well. Fast One proper is Don't Lose Your Way, No Game, No Life, My Guilty Crown. I had another one, Since All These Combined Volume. And I'm not going to play the song at the moment, but I shared the lyrics regardless. God Knows, May 24th, basically around the time me and other stuff became known to basically everyone else. Before My Body Dries, September 21, 2015. Guilty Crown, April 16, 2020. No Game, No Life, longer version from remake, February 2. Yeah, what's that? Today of this day, it came out. February 2nd of 2020, literally that day. So, just so you know, I get the reason why I say these things is based off lyrics. As lyrics always make me enjoy a song. I'm a lyrics words, even though I can enjoy classic music too. So Guilty Crown goes like this and resonates with what happened through my life, but especially last September. So everything that makes me whole belongs to you. I'll give my heart and soul. I'm yours. Hey, I've never laughed like this in my life, forgetting all the bitter strife. I know I made mistakes, even so I'm glad I kept my feet on that path. You can pretend a girl is saying this because it's speaking of a girl. Now the God here is in reference to, as I told you, of the old, not the old, but the reference of Lucifer, that particular wannabe God and whatnot. And you can, listen to the lyrics, and go forth. But I'm going to keep going. Like, even if they try to make you wear a crown of thorns, So this expresses, by the way, what I went through in this month. There will come a time when someone accuses you of telling lies. They'll try and hurt you with their heartless words and judging eyes. Even if the world turns on you, I won't believe a word you say. Even if they make you wear a crown of thorns, don't you give way. And I will stand and be the one to wipe away those tears you shed when someone hurts you. Let me be their arms and so forth, right? Now, I express this in the meaning of what it can be expressed as, right? So, don't you give way. Then you have God Knows going like this. So this song lyrics, you can pause and I go to the song and you can take your own meaning. But if you can't find meaning, the invisible qualities that God says is everywhere, then you're not looking correctly. Move on. Another song. This is the one called God Knows. This empty heart runs past you time and time again. I'm sorry that I can't be any help to you. I wish I could, but I more wish that you understood that even now your pride won't let me share your pain. I'll live on and leave all this fear far behind me. I'll get back on the track all without back on this lonely rail. You know that I would follow you no matter where we go through. Bring all the darkness the world can offer, because you'll shine no matter if future is bleak. Once again, a girl's voice singing this. Even if it scares me, nothing can shatter my soul, because your way is my way, forever on the railroad as we were. God bless this tenderness, a feeling cannot express, melting my walls. It finds a home inside my heart. We don't need fate, no rhyme or reason to correlate, only the now that overflows loving you. Let's escape, chase, and after the dreams we both create, maybe then we'll mend, so then we can transcend beyond your lonely heart. Don't you dare lie, isn't like you. Please tell me it's not true. Look in my eyes. Look in my eyes. We'll put it in the past. Say this is a male voice, by the way. Don't you dare lie, it isn't like you. Please tell me it's not true. Look in my eyes. We can work this out. We'll put it in the past. Begin the future today. Even if everything around us seems hopeless, I'm prepared to take on the world. It's all for my wish. I ask if it come true, but that only God knows. I found where I belong. Okay, back to a girl's voice. I was once all alone. Now you're standing here. The world around could disappear. The beauty of our dream will capture on a canvas, and you and I can trace our permanent scars. And you know that. Please know that I follow you no matter what we're going through. Bring all the darkness this world can offer, because you'll shine no matter if the future is bleak. And we'll aim just beyond the boundary. Even if it scares me, nothing shatters my soul, because your way is my way, forever on this railroad. By the way, fun fact, 2016 I was walking on a railroad, but we'll get into that. Now, there's a part in there that mentions in this next song from Don't Lose Your Way. In the dusty basement where we met. Ironically, when I was younger, I had what you could call outer body experience, and I vividly remember this, of coming down back to my body in front of a TV. I'm going to let you think about that for a second. Anyways, I can remember. Was so another coincidence? I think not. Anyways, you had me, this is how the lyrics of Don't Lose Your Way go. You had me surprised then, with only a single word. Gotta find the truth, win this fight, but I'm all alone. You're the only one who can help me now. We'll be as one. Get ready to fight. Look over there. You're trading our lives for stars. Our bond has grown much stronger than before. Don't lose your way in your mind. We have to be as one. Don't be afraid, my sweetheart. This is the way we can grow strong. From this small secret inside you, I shall prevail. My body is dry in the dusty basement where we met. You had surprised me then with only a single word. You gotta find the truth and win this fight, but I'm all alone. You're the only one who can help me now, and we'll be as one. You gotta find out who killed my dad, because someone's dad is dead, but not mine, because I don't have one. But, for context, I structured this way. I hear your voice calling my mind. I gotta find out who killed my dad. By the way, I have, actual dad. So, yeah, I don't. Moving on. I'll show you my birth certificate as proof, and you can question that and make your own thing, but we're gonna move on. Can't move my feet in the dark. Don't want to be all alone. Can't feel the heat in my blood. Do you remember what we said? Don't lose your way in your mind. Let's be as one. Don't be afraid, my sweetheart. This is the way we can grow strong, and so forth. And then there's the other song. Before my body drives. Usually what I use throughout January as a driving force to prevail and drive forward for the truth's sake. It was one of the songs that, used for concentration purposes. Before my body dry, that was the one that when I used the term Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, was applicable for that time, and it's still applicable song. Now, lastly, is this song called No Game, No Life. Right? I never wanted to be another gear in that corrupted world's machine. All my life felt like a dream. Remember this female's voice. Oh, I'll see when it's not. I was never who I really wanted to be. Then God shattered that dream's cage, rolled me up to a new stage, cutting away like a sharp knife. No game, no life. No, suddenly there's a new twist, a reason to live. I want to breathe in the fame. This whole new world cheers my name. I'll never leave the fate And when I see a chance, I'll pave the way. I'll call checkmate this time to break through. Rewrite the story and change all the rules. We are math rich, which you can look up the meaning of that. Look up etymology of it. Go into it. Don't just assume a word means something and not go to the root. We won't give in until we win this game, and though I don't know what tomorrow holds, I'll make a bet and play my cards to win this game. Unlike the rest, I'll do my best. I won't ever lose. To give up this chance would be a deadly sin, so let's bet it all. I'll put up my faith in us, so let's gain again. Now, there's a darkness in our hearts that's stronger than any foe that we fought by far. As long as we believe, there's no chance that we'll ever taste defeat. Remember what I said about darkness? Think about that. Anyways, don't trade a fraction of your pride. Okay, don't trade a fraction of your pride just because you want an easy life. Don't fall for those beautiful lies. No sense, no life. We gotta block out the voices that drag us down like a poison. We will put it in their place. A voice as pure and bright as day. I know it's not a mistake. Then we'll rise up to fight and challenge fate. We'll dominate even if we lose this turn. By the way, fate isn't what you're thinking when I use that in context. We're gonna get to that. Logic within, we don't need it to win. This world's no match, it can't hold us back. Don't have to wait for our adventure to begin. Never the fools, we make the rules, walking the path we choose, aka free will. Not taking orders from a single soul, because that's not our style. And together we will forge ahead in this new road. Won't hesitate. Once again, don't get confused just because of the lyrics. If you look at the surface level, you'll miss the context that's really being spoken. I'm going to go down for the sake of this. So, in No Game, No Life song resonates to the degree of what I dealt with in life. If you think of the fact that our foe, or humanity's foe, is the devil and Lucifer, it's like playing a chess game against them. We know that what is true, and there is darkness in our hearts. We must become purified, so to speak, right? Purified. Anyways, moving on. So to give up this chance you're given that life would be a deadly sin, because fun fact, I almost died at childbirth due to my umbilical cord strangling me in the womb, as if the world didn't want me to be born. How about that? So when I was born, I literally had a umbilical cord trying to strangle me. Like, I don't know, the devil trying to kill me, but they couldn't. But hey, what do I know? Moving on. Also, I was born in the 7th month of conception, just, prematurely, divinely on the right time. Moving on. If you look at how these instrumental songs keep listening to, the key point, it's like, that's crazy, man. And this is the person who knew everything, I'm telling you guys. So going for it. And this it's song to Amelie, which if you look at the meaning, regardless, if you translate meaning, which can be easily called, you can say this is a stretch, but I'm a shelter, because lee equals shelter. The sheltered side of something, the side away from the wind. Ducks were taking shelter on the lee of this island, shelter from the wind or weather given by a neighboring object. So, leave it at that. Now, the name that most people, in the book that people don't read, I don't know why, because it's so important, but y'all never read it out of fear, by the way. Zephaniah, yes, dare you, Zephaniah, which is born by 3 other men. Okay, this name is held by 3 other men, but it means Yah hides, Yah has hidden and treasured, suggests the prophet's birth in the killing time of Manasseh. The Lord has concealed, the Lord has protected, treasured by God. Now the main message of the first book of Zephaniah is the day of the Lord. Prophesies about the wrath of the Lord will come to Judah, Jerusalem, all nations of the world disobedient to the Lord. Now, to get the name Zephaniah, which I expressed, my stepfather called me for express reason, she can vouch for it. Zephaniah is an ancient Hebrew name that appears in biblical Old Testament in a short book that bears his name. The name origins found in Hebrew, meaning hid of the Lord, in the sense of protected of the Lord, composed of elements to hide, conceal, and protect, and God. Though this name is borne by 3 different men, the most common reference is Zephaniah, son of the Cushite, and one of the minor prophets of the tribe of Simeon. But y'all y'all always forget about the minor prophets, and act like they aren't important. I don't know why. Because he lived in the 7th century of BC in Judah during the reforming reign of Josiah. And in fact, Zephaniah was one of the king's most zealous reformers in an effort to bring the children of Israel back to worship the one God. His teaching centered on Lord's judgment and the day of reckoning, and ultimate enjoyment of God's kingdom. The assumption his people would get their act together. Yeah, get y'all act together, for real. Given his, albeit brief and somewhat obscure reference about his name, it generally his name is generally hidden from the mass awareness, but it seems fitting that such a prophet would indeed be protected of the Lord. So it's one of the things for me a stretch. Another thing for a minor prophet to be called unknowingly by my stepfather to call me that. One of the reasons he named me that was when I used to fall asleep reading the Bible and Bible study, I would always be forced to break down the meaning of each verse with perfect meaning. You can go ask him. He confirms this. Always when I in a half sleepy state, I literally fall asleep one time when I was forced to stand up. I was asleep standing. You might be asking why. Maybe because I don't know, I already knew this stuff and it was like hearing some stuff I was aware of. Now, I was always asked to give the meaning. Every time I gave the meaning behind, like it was so simple. Literally, went to ask him, told this man, went to ask him the same thing, and he's like, I would automatically wake up and answer it correctly in this family Bible study. Moving forward, he's like, that's awesome. So he's obviously listening to this, right? So then I pointed out the fact that New York doesn't want you stargazing. That's a fun fact that you should know. That's very fun. When was that? 222, but it was done on the 1st of 27. And they're like, check my. So we get into prophecy. And you might say, well, how is this related? Well, you'll see in a second. Prophecy will come soon. I cannot say anything, speak of it. Meaning I wasn't saying anything because everything has to be done orderly. And this man's talking about the enemy and being misled and yeah. Certainly, true kindness is hard to find. One without partiality and true forgiveness. It's hard. And trying to save someone that's so troubled, And we're talking about ego and stuff. You can pause and read this yourself. And we're getting into context of names and so forth. If God is true, He always is and always shall be, right? So if you believe God is true, then you believe He truly is faithful. Now, I have to break down what "eos" means because y'all love to use Latin, but y'all never think Latin is like such a valuable language that goes out into many languages. Anyway, Latin. He's like, "Eos means such and such." No, I'm like, no, Latin like Lucifer, Latin like eating. So. But that's without the J. Yeah, J didn't exist then, because the mass Catholic Church, which you think they eat the body of Christ and drink His blood. So do you know what is being said if you add Christos to that? I never say it. I actually mean, this is why I say Jesus, if you never notice. I'm aware most people just aren't aware, like those videos. Yes, we can, but it's like, yes, Satan from Obama videos, whatever. It's one of the things people talk about. And he's like, yeah, I heard. So he's aware. So this is basically going in the context of the name in regards. Regards is that. That's not, it's the context. Don't focus on the name. The point here is that we're having a conversation about everything I'm going to share with you. And as you see, I bring up how Christ came in the flesh and so forth from my previous video. This is the next day. Meanwhile, someone's missing. But I'm starting with him, the ringleader of this. And it's funny. Don't worry, just be aware and alive. Drink a lot of water and basically eat once a day. This is what I do, basically constantly in a form of fasting, which has always been my lifestyle, to the point that my family had this one diet named after me, so my siblings could learn, my step-siblings could learn. It was called the Christian diet. Obviously, how not gluttonous I was, because one of my anyways, some lame, like intimidate, fame, and nobility, please. Silliness. Anyways, I don't care for fame. That's the problem. You people of the world care for fame. That person just proved my point. Anyway, since I can literally go one day without eating more, and so on, so I'm just expressing my sentiments here. That's insensible. Hence why I point out that it's also related to genetics as well. Something in the genes that's different, and whatnot. And we're talking. It's a simple conversation. I'm gonna fast forward a bit, just a little bit. So God created the world, 7 days? So, we're talking about science, and it's like, why is basically, here you go. You are not to be dogmatic. There's nothing wrong with scientific approaches, but it's when people start taking science and just putting in folly is basically what it is. They're just gone to their own choices, fables, and stuff. Wonderful quote I ran into. Now, it seems that they are this guy changed everything into the past traditions and ways of the world to a more scientific way, at least that lean towards. Now, I go back for all you people who like to say the Earth is rotating. You know this thing. Everyone knows this thing. You get in it, you spin, and those walls weren't there, you would fly out the motherfucker, point blank. Now the Earth is moving. It's fixed and immovable. Simple. Like that ride alone says enough. Now, if you remove the illusion the ride gives you by its unique position and spin and tilt, like it means the Earth tilting. However, when you're on the ride, it actually spins. What happens to your vision is still. And I'm like, are you sure? When you spin in a circle, are your vision still? People say it's still if you focus on people around you, but it's still because you're locked in a place by belts. And that's why everyone in each corner is belted, right? The maximum speed of this ride is 133 miles per hour. Yet the Earth spins at 1,000 miles per hour. Now, people say, oh, well, because gravity is strong. Gravity isn't strong enough to ride and keep up in the place of 133, what, 133, 33 is a mixed number, there's a 1 there, what, 7? There you go. Yeah, it cannot keep us in place from 1,000 miles per hour. Come on, think about that. 1,000 miles per hour spin to be told the Earth is where we're kept placed by gravity. It's strong enough, but we have a belt ourselves for 133 miles per hour, right? What is the force that could fight 1,000 miles per hour ago and not 130 hours? Like, that's interesting thought. So I'm like, yeah. So you're telling me 133 miles per hour of rotational force can push you like the same force applied when spinning a ball? Like when you take a basketball, you spin it, it's not even going 100. You put your finger on it, it gives you burns, aka a reactional force is created from rotation. Simple as that. Anyways, if you don't apply your hand against it, it'll push you away. Yet the Earth doesn't do that. Same logic. It's like gravity and magnetic field. Everything's 10 degree. I'm like, you don't need gravity to explain this. And like, I went downstairs for a moment because I'm dealing with family. He wants to talk about the virus, and I already explained this, but moving on. Also, you don't need gravity for everything to stick, since that isn't even the reason certain things float. It's all about density, which people like say gravity magically gives to stuff. However, it's easier to explain why water is not floating in air versus when it's steam when you apply heat to it, because the molecules expand from density state, aka beating gravity, by the point it is lighter than the surrounding through electrical bonds, releasing energy to set it free. Nevertheless, gravity sticks everything to the ground, but it can't stick a butterfly, fly, hawk, even bird, even yeah. Anyways, I bring up this because quarantine. I brought that up. Perfect time for quarantine. It's South Africans, people in South Africa, and you're like, I know who the blah blah blah, so forth, right? And we're still talking about that to a degree. And then this is one article from a Jesuit saying Satan real and wants us to reject God, right? Wants us to reject God. Which God are they referring to? It's a question. Anyways, I'm not surprised those people are always filled with greed. I'm like, indeed. And we're talking with the still topic is related to God. But you might be saying, well, how does God do with you? You'll see, because it's important to the stuff I dealt with last month. Now, know that it's not how it works. The whole idea of priests, but like citizens and stuff and blah blah blah. As you can see, knowledge is an important element of understanding how we can apply our faith. Incorrect interpretation of events and a lack of applied knowledge results in mere theoretical faith in God, which is ignorance. Ignorance is not what faith is about. Faith is not wishful thinking. Faith is not blind devotion. Faith comes from applied knowledge to resolve understanding that comes from the experience and principles of salvation found in the word of life, from the word of God, the written word of God, the scriptures that he spoke in his own words when he speaketh them. Anyways, not everyone has that knowledge, and like, well, Christ is supposed to be your high priest. Leave it at that. And you already know how I feel about not just the son of God, but daughter of God. But we can move forward. Not everyone has that type of knowledge, he says. Well, I'm giving this man that knowledge. He's the first one to know how many of selective individuals, not because I chose them for multiple reasons, to see if they would turn away. And I still went out my way to show people, as I've shown on YouTube. But this is this article he brings up about devils speaking in tongues, blah blah blah, and so forth. And I'm like, and I bring up about the porters, you are gods, and so forth. And you can pause this at any time, and whatnot. And then I'm bringing up relationships to like the lamb and the beast and so forth. and that is part of the article. You can pause this part and read it yourself. And then religions all agree that the end of the world's gonna happen, right? Bad. So here I'm telling him about the lamb-like beast and its origin. It's interesting in a way. Interesting, but we're gonna continue. That's from Daniel, by the way. And then you have Notre Dame being brought up. I'm moving ahead. You can pause at your own degree because hey. Now, let's go on from here. So we're still talking about biblical stuff, which you can pause at any time. So this man says, funny actually. He says, you know what my biggest fear is? The ocean. But I got a better question. Which ocean? Now, why is that? Because the ocean is immensely deep and it's unknown what can be down there. It is dark. That's understandable and whatnot. And we're still using, remember, this time period of name using has a purpose. It's not about the name. And then I show him where Mean Crow, aka his, let's just say, Crow was a good person. We'll leave it at that. Now I'm talking to them. I'm like, what the fuck is your profile pic? So they message me. I'm like, what do you mean? It's Conan from Detective Conan reading a book. He's like, it looks like Seto Kaiba. And I'm just like, I know they're saying things because Seto Kaiba doesn't look like no freaking Detective Conan. So that's some bullcrap right there. Anyways, so I'm like, I just shared that real quick. And he's like, yeah, she's just sending silly stuff because she's tired and she's been acting delusional, yada yada. I'm like, really? Yeah, she's been acting very silly, sleep deprived. I'm like, okay. And then we start talking about the two witnesses, right? And so forth. And we go into that. Now, you can go into this. I'm gonna skip ahead because that is going into meanings of names. I'm skipping ahead for the purpose of the personal journey. You can pause this at any time to read. And he brings this up. He says, how can you be? God is a human? Okay. We're talking about this. And this is where I get into some relatively important part. You can't really tempt God. You try to tempt him, it's not going to work in your favor. Let's just get it out the way. And all this part brings up the part related to David and the fact that the Sinner's Guide, for example. You can read all this of your own. But the Sinner's Guide is right in the middle. When David prays, create me a clean heart, he's asking God for forgiveness. Subtitle to 54 clarifies the situation. A Psalm of David. When the prophet Nathan came to him after David had committed adultery with Bathsheba. 2 Samuel 11 tells the sordid tale of King David saw Bathsheba, a married woman, lusted at her. He summoned her to fulfill his daughter, and sometime after she notified him that he was pregnant with his child. He tried to cover it up, and what he did was wrong. Did not work. He arranged for the murder of Bathsheba's husband, then married her, and obviously did not have a clean heart after that. He committed adultery, possible rape, as was language used. As summoning and sleeping Bathsheba was all the abuse of royal therapy. But the thing David had done displeased the Lord. Now, the prophet Nathaniel confronts David. He does so using a parable that David could relate to. He told a rich man who took advantage of a poor man by stealing his own lamb, a pet, which he killed to feed to his guests. David was overcome with anger and exclaimed that surely the Lord lives. The man lives. The man who did this must die. He must pay for the lamb 4 times because he did the thing and had no pity. When I kept silent about my sin, David, my bones wasted away. All my groaning all day, for day and night your hand was heavy on me. My strength was stopped as in the heat. David admitted to Nathaniel he had sinned. So all this context is about David's sin and returning and repenting. Now you can go into this, and I express in great detail, for example, what temptation is. And temptation always is explicitly a work of a tempted devil to attain its purpose, sin, aka to draw you away, seduce you. Simple as that. You can read this, but I'm gonna go down and whatnot. because, and so forth, because it's a lot, and I know it's a lot, and I don't want to get too lost in this sauce. So let me move forward, because that was like the backdrop of stuff. Now this is where I started expressing on the fourth day the humor that God has, right? So imagine God has quite the sense of humor. It's positive necessity, It certainly would be. I know he does. God has got a great sense of humor. Someone, who values humor, wit, and banter. I come to see it reflected in scripture from one who created the world. God loves to have a relationship with us, made a way for us to be with him eternity. John 3:16, read it properly. So I can't imagine that if we, his most valuable, most valued, most protected, cherished children, by the way, of creation, have wide varieties of humor that range through individual personalities, that the God of the multiverse, and its particular universe as well, who created us in his image, does not have one. Come on. Ecclesiastes 3. There's a time for everything, a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance. He has made everything beautiful in his time. He has also set eternity in the human heart. Yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end to now. There is nothing better for people than to be happy, to do good while they live, and each of them to may drink, eat and drink, and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. Now, one verse had me laughing because it's a sense of humor now. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. When I read the first part, beginning of wisdom is, you're kind of expecting a lot less of ways of obtain wisdom, how to list, as it were. But the writer of Proverbs was just like, to have wisdom, get wisdom. No finer details. We know from Solomon that his wisdom is a gift from God when asked. There is no how-to steps in getting it. The writer pointed it out in a very straightforward manner, to the point that it was humorous to me. Now check this out. Christ, or Jesus, answered, before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you. Nathanael answered him, Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King. Because I said I saw you under the fig tree, do you believe? You see greater things than these. Now, that's funny, but let me put it even funnier context. So, go. Now check this out. Jesus even had fun with his disciples, because y'all had this missporting Jesus. No offense, man, but y'all need to see two sides of Jesus: the angry and the meek. Don't see the joyful one. So even had fun with his disciples. So much fun, in fact, that he was accused of being called. He was called, matter of fact, a glutton and drunkard. Think about that for a moment. Now follow me. Now you gotta think about, this is Jewish time. False accusation. Do you make a false claim? You know how that goes. So obviously they weren't called up on this. It must have some value of truth when moved on, though. Especially if he came in sinful nature, not knowing who he was, but had to actually learn like a human, and show the goal of the sinner's prayer to true repentance. Yeah, think about that. Anyways, then Daniel said, "Can good follow me?" Now Philip was from Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. And Philip found Nathanael, said to him, we have found him whom Moses in the law and in the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Nathanael said to him, can anyone good come out of Nazareth? Philip said to him, come and see. Jesus saw Nathanael coming towards him, said of him, behold, an Israelite indeed, whom there is no deceit. Nathanael said to him, how do you know me? Jesus said, before Philip called you when you were under the fig tree, I saw you. Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel. Because I said this, I saw you under the fig tree. You believe? You will see greater things than this. Funny, when put in proper context. Like, how do you know me? I saw you under the fig tree. It's very, brings a warm, joyful, relatable. I know many people loving, compassionate, and they don't see the humor of God. Hence why I think a lot of things, certain scientists say are humorous, because they are humorous. Let's ignore the serious enormity of the matter, but a heavy heart surely won't help. Not at all. So I'm trying to lighten the load, and this is another thing from the same place. You can go look it up. It's about taking it easy, which relates to the Sabbath. But we'll get into that in another video. Now, Here's another joke. I know your deeds. You are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'm about to spew you up my mouth. Imagine him drinking something cold or hot, like, you know, like, this is horrible. Blah, lukewarm, never. Blah. Anyways, here's another joke. And I'm not making God to be a joke. I'm making your ability to relate to him be way more understandable than only seeing his anger and joy. I mean, wrathful side and loving side. Because everything that you got from him, the emotion, the joy, the gift from him comes from him. So he must have those qualities. He gave you a gift, like free will is a gift, imagination is a gift. That's another gift. Moving forward, what has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There's nothing new under the sun. Under the sun, that is. Imagine when Jesus was being raised by his earthly parents for a second. This theme song, of when you think of what he said to his parents. When parents saw him, they were astonished. The mother said to him, remember, astonished. Son, why have you treated us like this? Your father and I have been anxiously searching for you. Why were you searching for me? He asked. Do you know I had to be in my father's house? But they did not understand what he was saying to them. Why? Well, I'm explaining that in a bit, but they knew he was the Son of God. But let's listen to this, and I once again clarify. I do not own any song I play. The intellectually property belongs to the people that created it. Simple as that. But this song make you laugh if you think of Christ as an actual human growing up and not this like divine divinity going on. How can you relate to someone that's already perfect coming to live with you and show you a perfect way of, like, you should probably read 2 Corinthians again. Anyways, let me play this.
Yes, no, maybe.
Because he's in the middle, right?
I don't know. Can you repeat the question? You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now. And you're not so big. You're not the boss of me now.
The context wise, you have to remember that Christ's father is the creator. Not saying he's trying to fix the ugly parents, but let's be honest.
So I just stare at the stain on the wall where the TV been. But ever since we've moved in, it's been empty. Why I'm in this room, there is no point explaining. You're not the boss of me now, and you're
Hopefully you line up a bit, because people be too tense. Y'all are too tense. And you line up. Now this guy, once again, knows everything I'm explaining. Main person and main leader. That goes against me, by the way. So what's even funnier, the guy's saying not eating bastard racist. So he's still trying to talk about coronavirus and whatnot. I'm like, okay, yeah, alright. Oh, people have done that with fish and yada, octopus and so forth and yada, right? And then he shares this video about bats and racism, and I'm just like, oh, okay, you know? And I'm like, fun fact, by the way, just going back to my story, my first no line, at 444, yeah. I've never, and I can say this, and never had a broken bone in my life. Never. And you say, oh, you lived shelter life. I didn't live no fucking shelter life, my dudes. And my dudettes, if you don't mind me calling that. Clarify them. Now, I'm like, and, you know, hey. But I'm like, then I quote the part from this one, from Malcolm. Look, Reese, and this can apply to humanity sometimes. Look, humanity, some people are born book smart. Others are born crafty and street smart. You, I'm afraid, are... Sorry, you need to lighten up, people. You're way too tense. If your faith is in God, why are y'all so scared? Let me ask that. Why are y'all so scared? Moving on. So anyways, so he brought up his brother broke his arm falling from a 10-foot freaking bunk bed. 10 foot. That's nothing to me. I'm not even joking. Well, when I was going through my wilderness trial of 2016, because that's what it was, by the way, at one point I climbed on a wall that, like, at a park that, let's estimate, roughly 100 feet from the ground, and jumped off and didn't have a single broken bone. You don't gotta believe me, once again, but I'm telling you how it is. Once again, He's like, luck was on your side. You have also keep in mind that people can have different bone density. Bruh, I jumped from 100 feet tall wall. Bone density? Please. Now you're just, yeah. I'm like, okay, fragility comes like, man, your situation could have been a lot worse than just a broken bone. Yeah, I'm just like, thank my heavenly Father. He's like, amen. Of course, I take no glory. Something the Father's will done, because this is how I started. Even though I'm like bringing the facts of the matter. I don't know if I mentioned it, but he was only 10 years old. That's not big. But what do I know? I don't know, about 6, 7 at the time. I'm like, at least he's okay. And like, thank the Father. And once again, you don't have to focus on this name. Really, I'm clarifying for all you people that will see this and focus on it. Anyways, one of the songs, the 16 personalities, 1 + 6, 7 trait thing. I'm sure you all aware with all the names. Well, I got the one called Protagonist, and then I shared this, and I would really like this song. So for love of truth, just bear with me a little bit, because lyrics are important, and you can always find truth in them. If you don't believe me, that's on you, and that's your choice. I respect that, but I'm gonna carry on. And
he's here, triumph, the strongest one. What you say? Frustration. No one can stop me now. A punch, it's done. Again, he's won. Say it loud, winning it every time. Power, it's your power. Surpass the limits of the human race. Hero, I don't do this for praising or reward.
all people ask. For the person who asks me, what you doing fame? I don't do this praise or reward. Do it for the sake of humanity. That no one knows. You will know now. Now, closing in and covering in the sky. I will not ignore them, cause if I'm a hero, the number compared to the I die. Which I want. He's my sin. 2, 1, fight back. Go on. Fight fair, don't run. Everything's gone. My enemies are gone. Then enforce with no retort. Put it all. Help it out. Say your prayers. Power, give you power. And then it's overflowing everywhere. It's your power. And then I'm down with all the things that I have trained. Hero, the strongest that the world will ever know. It begins a shining, oh so tiny hero. I suffered to overcome my weakness, so I'm so strong. Now, you might be having a moment, but you relax, let go, listen for invincible qualities, because the moment you stop just because of the lyrics, you're missing the message. But we're gonna go on, and that's by Studio Ukraine. I'm not sponsored or anywhere, as I clarified. I am doing this, like I said, for no recognition, no renown, even though frankly, well, once you know who I am, you understand. But we can go on. By the way, I asked the person, when did it start? The coronavirus, as I brought in, and then I brought the plagues in. So, then, this is just food for thought. Remember Jesus, if he had been willing to wear the yoke of Christ, he might have been among the chief of the apostles, but he hardened his heart when the defects were pointed out. You can go find this in a lovely book. This book were from 7-Day Adventists, maybe. Like I said, I don't follow any particular denomination. I collect everything that you need to know and bring it back to the truth. Because everyone has pieces of the truth, but no one wants to bring it together. Unless you can stop and read this. But this expresses the Son of God and what he did. And he's like interesting and mourning, right? I'm like, man, I appreciate your mature outlook and patience. And he's like confused because I'm sharing stuff with him. He's like confused. I'm like, oh, no problem, Trying to keep an open mind, he claims, Because I had literally, when I say blind Christians, I mean, I went to an entire server and they tried to fight me. This is an example of them trying to fight me because of what my name meant, which was from the days when I used to RP and roleplay, by the way. You can take that however you want. But one of the names, because this person tried to call me out misguidedly, by the way. And like, this person got mad because my username, like jealousy or envy or something, started posting because they asked me about my name, what it meant. So I told them freely. One of my characters' name, Heishinai Ayoko, everlasting will. What does tension mean? It meant kami, academic scholarship and learning. Now, what did it mean when I chose it? When I chose the word tension, it wasn't because of this meaning. No, it was because when I picked the name, it was for the word heavenly, not because of a false deity. Just to clarify that real quick. But this person that you see got mad because I'm sharing stuff. And this is the pride of the world who can't come together. This is what it looks like because they will twist and turn. And I pointed out, don't be manipulative. You didn't even bother to use the whole quote because I didn't quote this. And then I requote for the sake of it. But this person right here tried to twist it. This person. Sorry, I don't do that. If you posted the whole thing and they kept posting it trying to twist it, it's what people do that don't love the truth. They twist stuff. This person twisted it, what I was saying, and they didn't win because I exposed them. And he's laughing because he knows like I'm right in that regard. Moving forward, even though I'm innocent by God's record, my own personal record, keep for future proof, everything they did happened in the end, since they allowed me to collect some thoughts about the question. So God be the glory. Now they wouldn't know Christ even if he was healing in front of them. They would just be enemies of people. That's the type of crowd I was dealing in January. Just to clarify, I was dealing with those kind of people in January. Now, so I have a record of it saved. Literally, like I have a record of all this. I have a record of it saved in my files. So I keep records. So another song, Guilty Crown. I break down why I enjoy Guilty Crown. Now this goes into my life, and what I've dealt with. But at least it makes it easier for me to explain to other people, and show it off. Funny part for me is when I showed the faulty logic behind their beliefs. Now you can take this. Oh, now you're being from both. No, I'm expressing how it made me feel. Get that expression. Understand that your feelings need some logical basis. You're being too emotional if you get upset or whatever, twisted. I'm going to continue ensuring now. Going to take me a minute to get all this done, right? Because I'm already saying. But goes to the fact when I listen to No Game, No Life, the game is free will. Okay, there's a right way to play a game, there's a wrong way. Usually it can be summarized in one moment. Alright, my word program has a record of this. Ironically, I keep record of everything out of habit. There's a time for everything, and I repeat the same thing, And now one of my chapters for the Sabbath is literally called Learn to Take It Easy. Yeah. I will come back to that eventually when I hit the 10 Commandments. So he's trying to bring up games, and I'm not. That's not my focus. And bring up a crack game and blah blah blah. Not my focus, by the way. My direction is totally removed from that, completely. There's nothing wrong with games. Don't get me wrong, but that's not the focus of what I need to do here. So I'm like, what you doing? I was sharing the word of God with Haas. This is one of the suspects, by the way, and whatnot. And I'm like, I take no pride, just happy the Father's will to be delightfully nature. Wasn't Haas an atheist? He says it. Now he says he's an atheist. I said, well, he said he was a Catholic. So another friend of me and Haas were a Catholic. And he brings up another suspect, Wolfex. Just recognize that. These suspects. Comparing the words you speak to what they taught, your sounds like actual life-giving words versus sounded death. That's what someone said to me. They took the light and she could see a simple thing. And unsure what Fex or Haas was learning to be atheist or agnostic. But I think if he truly let that seed plant in him today, it will grow. But unfortunately, Haas did not. And his wickedness shall be known. And this guy's still trying to share this game with me. And I'm just like, bruh, thanks. But can we move on from this? This is my focus. That's a distraction. Moving on. And I'll post you the stuff. And this I post from Amos and whatnot. and Thessalonians. And you can pause this of your own volition. Truly, you can. But I'm gonna move forward, and you can pause, because all this stuff being posted was when I was having. This is from the conversation I had with those people who would not listen, and they wanted to be argumentative, and they knew it all. That's all I gotta say. You can pause this, or go back up, and read this yourself, and you can read yourself and figure out how that goes. Now, just think there are now Discord servers like this is astonishing, because this one guy, Jack Frost, I was given the floor to talk from 2 of the admins, and he would not let me talk. He kept interrupting me, But that's how it be. I got all their stuff on record, by the way, so they can come at me. But I make sure to keep records for a reason, evidence for a reason, and I protect my evidence for a reason. Now, just think there are now Discord servers like this. I'm tired. I have to go to sleep. Yeah. Now, remember, this day represents the day the war started. Okay, you guys aren't being straight up. So I'm like, I bet. Now, you might be wondering what this has to do with. Well, it connects. Just know it's reason. Now, I'm like, ironically, that's not enough. But don't say it's a name. Only, a false god in your heart is the immediate. Remember, chase after God, the true living God, who is spirit at the time. I'm trying to keep it simple at the time. Let your faith shine bright. A God in your heart in any manner. Don't seek to ask me, but reason when yourself's been given. You must search this God's spirit and truth. And that is my message as I go off to sleep at that moment, right? Before I woke back up. Then I say this. Lean not to your own understanding with an open heart. Allow the mind that is in your Messiah being you. I've done a lot and wish to rest for a fleeting moment, a blink of an eye. Don't let them steal the word Messiah from your heart, mind, and soul. That was from dealing with the ME stuff. Moving on. This song, once again, by Amon Lee. I take no credit for the song lyrics. I think it is well done. I share this for a reason, because it relates to a grander part of stuff I dealt with. And this may be a long video, but it is an appropriate one. Now.
Make my wish come true. Let darkness fade to light. Show me there's still hope. Show me it's not over. Battles we can win. Our struggle lies within. Will we live to greet the dawn?
Will not leave you. Hate will not heal you.
Promise me one day that peace shall reign.
That credit goes for that song to that person for their taking the song and making cover it. But the lyrics fit what you should be looking for. And if you don't agree, that's something inside you that you need to work on. I'm going to keep going. Indeed, it speaks of promise that God has given. We believe that His ways and her ways, mysteries are of wisdom. Now I ask you, since you have shown yourself much more humble than those who profess to be wise, aka this guy who's been listening to me the whole time, every time I'm sharing you, he's been made known and aware of. In truth, you shall be truly blessed by the knowledge that's granted you of your own volition. Trust in it. However, I will ask the question, what do you think it means? You are made in our image and likeness. Very simple question. And I will not ridicule you for your perception. Only may we find a delight in light jest of things. And he's like, oh, I need a coffee. Oh, why the headache? I haven't had coffee. I was busy. Caffeine addiction real. And then later, we started talking about it because he didn't reply. I'm like, hey, what's up? How's it going? And then he brings up, this. And this fun satire, by the way, is interesting. It's a satire where they say Trump is attacking God. I just thought it was satire. And I'm like, found the men of sin in both his forms. Okay, I'm really talking about this guy in particular. And you'll understand what I mean by man of sin and the way he acted. I'm like, Trump is obviously a figurehead, LOL, quoting to the whole thing. and whatnot, and we start talking, and I said, bruh, this is a question I asked, right? And he's acting plain dumb. We are all in God's image. 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. I'm like, really, bruh? Really? But I'm like, okay, close enough. So rejoice in your relationships that features physically and spiritually is the same as us. You must accept that for God, it truly be personal, or this is nothing, gave humanity command over earth. Basically told, go make a physical human family and we will help you, so on. This is relatable. Human, if you came from them, remember what was said. I'll quote in a different way at first level understanding. And this is where I started teaching them everything that I'm sharing with you. This guy knew this, and plenty of his cohorts knew this before any of you was made aware. And I'm gonna expose those who need to be exposed. And this is part of my own walk. First level here. I started basic with him, very basic. First, Father, Son, husband, 3 individuals. And I'm starting Father, Son, Mother. I'm starting very basic. But then I bring up the fact that human family and God's family, it's a theme. What does it mean to blaspheme the Holy Spirit? Or, a bunch of people talk about blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, calling it unforgivable sin. But I don't think there was any sin that God couldn't forgive. Are you putting a limitation on God? There you go. There's a reason why it's called the unforgivable. What's blasphemy of the Holy Spirit? The sin of blaspheming. That's the rejecting of Christ by rejecting God's free gift of salvation. What's that? A persistent self-hardening. Your free will, choice to not listen. Your choice is the eternal sin that will lead you to eternal damnation. Because you will continue to walk that way eternally of your own volition. Get that fact straight. You're not forced. You walk it of your own volition. A sinner sears his conscience, ignores the voice of the Holy Spirit, ignores the voice of Christ's mother, son. As guys are usually very protective of their mother. I know I would be. Context is key. Jesus' statement about the unpardonable sin came as he's speaking swiftly about the grumbling of the scribes and Pharisees and witnessing the power of Christ healing a demon-possessed man. These religious leaders may come like, it's only by Beelzebub or by the prince of demons he cast out. And next moment, basically, the Pharisees and scribes were rejecting the grace of God revealed in Christ. They were rejecting it by attributing Jesus' work by the power of the devil. They were doubting and even denying the truth. Instead, they were wickedly contradicting what they had seen with their own eyes. The writer to the Hebrews might have been thinking of the scribes and Pharisees when he spoke about who have trampled underfoot the Son of God and outraged the Spirit of grace. The Spirit of grace. There you go. Moving forward. Now, this song's interesting. I'm not going to play it, but its time step ends with 1040. Just quick flex that. Boom. That's my birthday, by the way. Just moving forward and say, oh, that's just a coincidence. Yep, coincidence. It's happening so many times. Now, this is where I go into things related to me. And just sit back and relax. This is from when I used to role play, by the way. Like, just used to role play. I made characters with names, meanings, and so forth. Like, this is literally a warm-up form, by the way. Let me show you the last version of it. Like, ironically, a key that applied to 2016. This is my story. The file, ironically, is called Oblivion Records. I want to go to this dope form I created. I hope it's still there, where all the information is like stored. It was a very vault of knowledge. I actually used it originally to decode stuff about the Bible and what's going on 2016. That was 2020. Eyes on the prize. 2020, guys. Anyways, should be very interesting to look at. Now, considering, now the name was called of this file was Chaotic Emperor of the Draconian Order. It's a name. He tried to bring up draconian order as in severity, derived from Draco, an Athenian law scribe under whom small offenses have punishments. That's not what I meant, but it represented the talk of dragons, because dragons is an actual keynote in the Bible, because they are actually in the Bible regardless of how you may perceive it. When you hear fiery serpents, you're hearing dragons. But I'm going into this is about me, my walk. You don't have to believe it, but I'm going to share it. Now, let me last this one worked up now. This is one of my other characters. And I told him night. Now, what I'm saying, I'll say to you as well. Do not take this information lightly. It's a lot. If you need me to go through it, force not yourself to try to rush to the unapproachable light. Just seek the light that is right there in front of you, aka your friend, me, Tenjin. This means heavenly, by the way. Since you are my brother, this is towards him. I'm reaching out to many people. Anyways, just have to give a disclaimer, because I am allowing you to see my level of intelligence, and no one can ever surpass because it isn't restricted. Even those above me know I am such, as I'm not haughty. I take no pride. There's always new ways to look at the world. The world is beautiful. Just lies make it look gloomy. I'm serious. Do not go past this part unless you are willing to correct your entire worldview. This is also to the people watching this video. If you're not really correct your entire worldview, do not go past this video part. Save yourself the trouble and do not go past it. If you want to sojourn, then sojourn. If you don't, stop and come back when you're ready. Or just make your own decision. But I'm warning you. Or if you want someone to be there, I'm here, always near. Just do not rush. It will be easier for me to be there to clear up any confusion. But respect your choice out of love. I give the warning. I love you, brother. Now remember I'm talking to him about I love you all, humanity. So you make your choice. And this is my other character with very important relations of details. Related, this was done way before any of this. This was done while I was still role-playing. While I was in my heart form. Let's put it like that. When I was just living out my heart and truth. Now, moving on. Almost forgot. I had a speech. Remember, I am serious about this. This is some world-shattering perception. Yes, I'm telling you, you two people. This is world-shattering perception. You have to come humbly with no bias, no thoughts, like a child learning something new with joy and excitement. Don't apply your meaning to the words, as I have always spoken concisely and clearly. It is when someone is trying to read the unreadable that they get confused. By unreadable, I mean you're trying to force a meaning into it, making it unreadable. Moving on. By the way, the speech that was put together through a combination of quotes, meaning I took quotes and made a whole new quote. This is the last one of the last, but never truly the last character I made. Welcome to the School of Eternity. You take into account, this guy takes into account as first. Now you're all in the School of Eternity. You can say, oh, you're boasting. Well, stay to the end and see. If not, leave early and you'll just miss out. Simple as that. But learn from him who is with you, as he has shown constantly what it means to be the first and last first, to be a leader yet supporter. I'm talking to him. He knows me. And family, if he says no, it must be for a good reason. Because saying no to something that is against your will is a bad thing. No, I don't want to participate. I know I don't believe that. No. Now, same thing. No. No one wants anyone to go astray. And absolutely, do not take in more than you guys, including you, can take this. This is not your way. It's not our way, but it is definitely his way. And always remember, also, don't go into the unknown. To go into the unknown means to go into something you're not ready for. Always have a lamp filled with oil, a light to help you, aka 2 go by 2. That's how the disciples sent. I do need you, but not lean unto your understanding. I'm saying to him that I need you to come to the understanding. Don't lean to your understanding. Understanding truth. Just be humble, open with a mind, no clouded thoughts, and open heart. But you get to see my extensiveness of me, and this isn't a front. This is like a start. Now, this is my third warning. 3 times I've warned not you, but not just you and him. I'm warning both of you. He's already taken this. Now I'm warning you guys. But the third warning for safety measures. Listen carefully. Be slow to speak and take joy in the knowledge you have openly, freely, through your faith, not only in God, but the one who is your friend. As I went through the same temptations of you. But no, what I want lust for, truth. Get it? Lust for truth? Unfunny. This is why the 7 deadly sins are alive and so illogical. We didn't make that crap. We remember we hate it. Like anything not found on love and truth, how is it going to help us? How's it going to help you? Now, let me start. And remember, I said, past this part, take a deep breath. Wait a minute. Wait for the clock to change. A nice minute to relax. Because if you rush, you make waste. And we're not about making waste. Let's check the thing. Make sure we're going strong. Still going strong, right? Okay. Alrighty. Wait a minute. Everyone needs a minute of breather whenever you're taking this off. Give your mind a calm down. Let go of what you know, what you think you know. Just listen. Don't think. Just listen. Critically think, but don't. Be children. Be still. 5:11:11:7. Moving on. The evil one thinks he can claim this name. He thinks he is fate. He can decide everything. He is above all. No choice is granted. However, I stand against the very notion of fate in the manner that it was fated. Think about the cartoon of Hercules, and this goes to a relationship that I have with Thorn. That's part of my story. It is ironic because about my last song my friend played, by the way, just to clarify, this is my Spotify. I have nothing high like the world like highs. I share all. You can say what you want. You can believe what you want. But I know what I am. And you don't have to agree. But I'll never deny myself who I am. That's for sure. You can deny yourself, but I won't. That's a personal problem of yours. But this is my Spotify. Coming up. Let me check and make sure I got some proper. Okay, I got good amount of space. Like I should have. Alright. This is my Spotify. Me and my friend, my beloved, share Spotify. This will be crucial into the story. This is her playlist. Even though it's under my Facebook and everything, this is her playlist. And the last song is my bad. Last two songs are these two, but they're important. That's why I'm pointing them out. These two are important, but we'll get to that. And like I said, this is Spotify. I own nothing. I'm just sharing. The rights of whoever owns the songs goes to them. Their names are clearly seen, so you want to look for the songs right there with the names. Moving on. Now, my friend, think about the cartoon Hercules. It's ironic, by the way, because the last song my friend played was "I Won't Say I Love You." Megan in that, by the way, is captured by the fate of the three sisters that Hades always counsel. Unfortunately for Hercules or Hercules, bunch of clues in here. Welcome to the mind of a child being humble, Bowen. And now you also are welcome. Just look out everything in the way it can be used as some form of meaning that speaks volumes of the good plan. Darn you, Woofy, by the way. By the way, this person, she just happened to be called Woofy for a reason, but we'll get into that. And so don't, because she's called Woofy, make accusations of her, because I will not take that lightly. You will not like how that goes at all for you. I'm not even joking. I'm so serious. It is so real, and you will find out. But that's not a threat. That is certainly a promise, though. Moving on. Why don't you put some clues together, LMA. What does a divinely inspired humor, since Megan love was Hercules. I want to say I love is acting like she's doing have a clue. Her clue is willing to dive into the very river. Okay, her clue, her man, is very is willing to dive in the river of the damned that save her from her unfortunate fate of making a wrong choice. Gee, sorry I digress. And this is important. This is all important to stuff I've dealt with this month. So bear with me. Now I'm taking some real different stories and showing you how you can connect the dots from anything around you. And you can either say, oh, that's not real and that, but God takes the foolishness of the world to confound the wise man's, because even the foolish things of God is wiser than the man's. But hey, what do I know? Continue on. Your choice, not mine. Fate Apocrypher. Volume 1 is called Apocrypher, ironically. The Great Holy War. The Volume 2, the round dance of blackened vessel. The triumph return of the saint. The cup of purgatory. Volume 5, blank. Imagine the state of the current affairs is blank. This is how much foresight I know how to connect meanings. The war started, aka the Mandela effect, aka the Great Tribulation, or the minor one, the tribulation before the midpoint, started in 2016. If you want to look at it, 2 was bound to occur as seen in the world. Volume 3 is truth that is hidden in plain sight. 4 is what people going to drink it up if they keep it up. And 5, well, there's a never true ending, everlasting, moving forward. Fate/Grand Order, absolute demonic battlefront Babylonia. I'll tell this same story in the same fashion and let you know how creatively I wish to share freely where I want. So the story isn't limited to the Bible. You can find the truth everywhere, regardless of what other people think. Now, 0. Infum Ita, beginning, in plural, rites, mysteries. Fortress Uric, the king and his people. Now, remind you, this story is somewhat a fantasy story based off Babylonia, but you can find truths in everything if you look in the right way. Welcome to the jungle. Gilgamesh travels. The tablets of destiny. Direct operation. Mother of the demonic beast. Good morning, goddess of Venus. Hello, goddess of the sun. Temple of the sun. Death of a king. Farewell, goddess of the underworld. Decisive battle. The new humanity. Now, it stops at what? 14:5. Again. Now, ain't that something? 5. Each stage is a step towards destiny beyond the present reality by almighty designs, following the success. And this is still from another part of the this that says, following the success of Camelot Singularity, Ritsukai, Fujimori, Match, Keralite are assigned to the last singularity. Singularity means something singular of itself, like the creator. Anyways, and the Grand Order Initiative in ancient Babylonia, BC 2655, they embark on a mission to secure humanity's survival. Upon arrival, they learn of 3 gods, see how they twisted, how threatened Uruk and the Babylonian city, and ruled by King Gilgamesh. Ritsuya, Mash must work together to fend off the invasion of mysterious beasts in Europe under Gilgamesh orders while investigating the true nature of the 3 gods' actions against humanity. But unknown to Ritsu, an ancient entity is slowly rising from its slumber. Now, I quote this because now I will show you how everything unrelated to the Bible, snake by true divinity plus mine will be sharing. I love logic, but I love creativity. What is absolutely need is your faith in the Messiah and the Holy Spirit. This will make for proper discernment. Get a quick glass of water. Water is good, guys. All right. All right. Okay. Let this song be a soothing song on loop for you to grasp how I create to finding the truth where you least find it. Watch how I connect both the basic instructions for leaving Earth Bible. So I'm going to show you a miracle of divine nature, how you grasp the truth from everything. Also how I function a bit. I'm very unassuming. I'm the last person you expect to be beyond the level of all geniuses on humanity combined and beyond granting my willpower alone. That is truly everlasting by nature and respect for my name, which includes will, word, walk, life, star, door. You think about those simple words and what it means. Anyways, will walk the life of to the starry door. Anyways, beyond your imagine, these simple words alone contain the simplest truth. Don't try and understand, just take it in. Let it all flow, don't worry, ponder. Think, use imagination, be logical but flexible. Now let me begin. Alright. So, first I will apply the rules. And this was still before the war that I went through. First I will apply the rules of this simplistic, basic level understanding. He who readeth, let him get wisdom from your brother, your friend that's always been. Wait, in fact, what's the timestamp on this? 2 hours? I'm going to stop here and continue. Yeah, I'm stop here and continue. So it'll be a continuation of this. Or I could go on. It's only 2:33. If I'm going, yeah, that's much better. First, I will apply the rules of this simplistic, basic level of understanding. He who readeth, let him get wisdom from your brother, your friend that has always been honest with you. Remember, whenever I say let you get wisdom, I'm saying something relatively very important for your sake. Or if I ever say very, very surely, I'm saying something important. So imagine the first picture is the emperor, aka from my roleplay stuff. The second figure is going off his throne for the sake of his family. Let me go back up to that real quick, just so you see. On the throne, going out for his family. Moving on. Now, Just now you have that image in your head. And the same thing I told him, tell you, I shared all this with him. He was the first person to know. So now you all will know, and you make your own opinion. But I'm gonna make it into a meme at the end of the day. When I'm done with it, it could be hilarious for people that listen. And if you have a problem with words like curse words, I think you all need to grow up, because I don't think your creator is limited by a curse word. Oh my God, you said a curse word, you're going to hell. Come on, guys, let's be intellectually honest here. Do you really think your creator is that petty? Moving on. And I'm sure there's people like, oh my God, this is blasphemy. But hey, you're the one with like less words of light that can actually bring truth to the world. No offense to anyone, but come on, you guys been searching and got pieces, but none of y'all put them together. I was waiting for you guys to do it. Y'all had all the pieces right there. I'm just like, are they gonna do it? Are they gonna do it? Nope, and nope. Moving on. No disrespect, but it's just how it is. Now, I will allow everything I said to connect above for the simple meaning, starting from my character back when I used to role play, by the way, and watch how this all connect. I get the most basic level understanding for you to understand how actually I'm here to help you. Not out of ego, but out of love. Come forth from what true wisdom brought forth unbound. This is what is called the lesson 10 of God's attributes, which there is 10 of them. Not limited, by the way, but there's 10 ones you should definitely take into account. I will now be using both God and Elohim, the family name, interchangeable. This person already knew all this prior to you. This is one of the word start. But remember, the only one truly embodied with these qualities that share it with all. You have to remember, names can be presented in an English formula, say God, Elohim, or reverse formula. So let's use Japanese example, and like the last being first, Elohim, God. Now, first thing, God cannot be seen by, this purely says, God cannot be seen by the human eye. Remember this. Passage comes from the past. Remember that. Yet his power his eternal power and divine character is known and clearly seen by things he has made. The fact that God cannot be seen, and nor does mean he cannot be known. Now remember, this is before the now. Anyways, this is in the past. Some men have chosen not to know God, as they have denied him by claiming that the world evolved by random chance and natural selection. But if one were to look at the order of things that have been held constant by the Creator, who created all things boundlessly, so one can begin to see the God who was and is powerful enough to create such a beautiful place, even though he cannot be seen directly in regards to the past, which you gotta remember context of when that was said, when Jesus said that, which was truth, no doubt. For the visible things of him from creation of the world clearly is seen, being the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. Now, unto King eternal, immortal, invisible, the only wise God, be honor and glory forever and ever. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as he seeing him was invisible. No man have seen God at any time. Remember, this is in the past. You gotta keep context properly. If we love one another, God dwells in us. His love is perfected in us. Just because God cannot be seen doesn't mean he does not exist. Let me just clarify. Now, the things he created in the order with which they were designed point towards an almighty God. I don't like the term almighty God, but we're going to use it for the sake of teaching. Now, this is going back to my role play. You can choose to listen or you can choose to walk away. Your choice. Your decision. Your eternity, where you're going to end up. First, let this, and this isn't fear tactic, just facts. First, let this creed stick in record to the protection of free will. And this is from my roleplay character. Prior to 2016. Oh, no, this is prior to 2015. Ouch, man, fuck. Let me bring up the fact. This, 2011, 2014, 2017. But all this was way prior to recent, which I started RP way back in 2006 or so. Moving on. Now, this comes from my last character that I wrote. Not the last character I will make, but last one I wrote at the time. The Order's Creed. The belief of the majestic order of chaos is don't invade and don't be invaded. Don't infringe upon someone else's free will. Don't infringe, love thy neighbors, love thyself. respect my free will, I respect your free will. We don't have the intention to declare war to these fellow organizations. We don't have the intention to recklessly enter into a war. However, if an uninvited guest comes to our world, we will erase it, no matter what kind of sublime small g it is. Remember, my very name, Tenjin Kalsu, by the way, means heavenly chaos in this regard, but check these nicknames out that what are mine, and they all have proper meaning. They are positive, by the way. If you look for stuff that aren't there, you're going to get confused. Cal also Rio, right? 3 of my nicknames. One of them was OG, which by the way means incredibly exceptional, authentic, and old school, because I used to play a game and someone called me OG, and I made a fair council, because that's how I run. Anyways, Kao is a Japanese word for face, features, a look, expression. The Japanese word for Kao, a face. Now Osu is a combination of Oshi, which means push, and Shinobu, which means to endure. It means patience, determination, appreciation, respect, perseverance. In order to develop a strong body and strong spirit fairly, because we all know how deceitful the evil one is. Not even worth mentioning the name of the adversary. You just pick the family name. You don't get any back type of logic. Hence, cow means face. Chinese by face represent, yes, Chinese. Just thinking that I read all type of novels, Chinese included. In China, face represents challenging a lot. Solely one's reputation. In Chinese culture, the reputation of one's family is very serious. However, even worse is respect the mother of the family. That can cause war at one point. When someone saw someone's mother, you're challenging a lot. But I digress, because my creativity of constructing truth is bountifully, truly, so with my willpower to do good. Now, the name Ryu means dragon. Now, you might be like, oh, he said dragon. But there's other dragons. Obviously, if the Lucifer's called the red dragon, just the red dragon. That don't mean there's not other dragons, like the fiery serpents, aka Sephirim, and so forth. They're still a form of angel, but we're gonna digress from there, because I know you people who will hark on a word and do it. But anyways, Ryu, dragon, is of Japanese origin. Ryu is a name that can be used by parents, considered a boy's name. Ryu, about the helpful information, is a masculine or family name, meaning dragon. Now let me clarify Ryu for you. The evil one that actually wants to be just like the Most High, so much even stole his moniker. Imagine that in China, which I read a lot of wonderful novels, secrets hidden in there as well. But there's one called Stellar Transformations. Give credit to the artists, because that's their creation. They just took what was available, imagination, and used it wisely, and made a story that had hidden truths in it, like everything else that you create, that you just don't see the hidden truths. Basically, at the end of the story, it goes like this. Matter of fact, let me show you another invisible quality in plain sight. At the end of the book says this: as for Kun Yu's son, Kun Shan, he also begun a journey on earth that was no less marvelous than his father's. How do we not have a novel about his son? Earth and the Invisible Novel. Moving back. Now, I'm going to express my character that I made that also expresses me. And before I go into my battle of... that battle of this month, so to speak. War this month. Gender, male. I'm male. Age 25 at the time when I wrote it. That was correct. 18 appearance. Yes, I still look 18 to this day, by the way. Thank you. Straight. Yep. Height 5'6". Yep. 130. It's not necessarily wrong. I'm technically according to 140. 124. 124. Skin tone 10 light bronze. You see my pictures. This fits with something else, but I won't go into that directly. And this is all respective to the character I made and whatnot. So, we're gonna move past this, but this is all interconnected, like I said. For example, silver, white, gold, and crimson represents his former hair color that was used as a disguise. Flexible hair, like his namesake. Flexible. What's flexible hair? Something that's curly. It curls. Anyways, golden, crimson irises, then golden violet slit crosses that always are active in a form of showing honor. Draconian style, Draco arts, nature, element, heavenly beliefs, chaos arts. As for more, how I can use it to explain the mystery of the world from my imagination, simple. Where does your imagination come from? But be a pretty infinite library, aka intium etel, which everyone with access have all eternity to learn. known as Austin goes into these are a character I made prior to all this, but has hidden truths in plain sight. Known draconian artifact. Chaotic divider and ruined order. Just order and chaos in unison. Draconian artifact. Unknown true name. Goes back to the Bible that he knows his name. Revelation 19, 11, 13. Just remember for this unknown pact. When I saw heaven standing open, there before me was a white horse, and his rider is called Faithful and True. With righteousness he judges and wages war. His eyes are like blazing fire, many crowns on his head. He has a name written on him that only himself knows. He is dripped in a robe, dipped in blood, and his name is the Word of God. Is the Word. Not Word of God, but is the Word. There's a difference. Of God. So, blood type of this character, unknown. Wait till you see my birth certificate. Unknown origin. Just, I usually ask and say it's O for the sake of it, but it's truly unknown, because, yeah, leave it at that. Mitsukai Mitsuri, daughter. Yeah, my daughter. Mitsukai mother. Yeah. By the way, there's a fun story to this, but we'll get to humanity itself. Bonds. Through him, Mitsukai and Mizu. Yada yada yada. Characters, you can read that. Now, this is just describing my literal opinions, by the way. Important factors to consider. Now, personality. This is my personality described. Castle's a laid back, fun loving person. He can quiet flirt, but he's not above using his charm to get what he wants. He has flirted with many princesses of female character, but none of them has become deceived, because he always tells them the truth and flirted openly. The only person who, because the person I care and love about is Wolfie. And I'll get into that. Always calls me a terrible liar because I never ever lying. Anyways, she's just wisely doubtful in a way I see her questions when my actions stand true. Only the background characters are deceived by their own imaginations. Despite all of this, he can be serious when the need arrives, and is a great and honorable man who has an eternal will to live, a miracle maker, especially for his friends, whom he seems to consider a sort of extended family. Now, some of you might be thinking this too much, but if you want to understand something, you need to let go of what your form of thinking and let go, relax. Let go. Learn to let go and let God. If y'all say it so much, but y'all never truly do it, because y'all hold on to this one little thing inside y'all that y'all want to be right. Y'all want to be the one. Y'all want to be y'all all about y'all. But y'all forget it's not that way. It's not that way. Anyways, so this is me. Though he does altruistic deeds, by the way, for other people without thanks. Like someone said, oh, why do you want fame? I don't do this for thanks. I just do it for the fam. It's revealed that he helped because they represented a powerful potential allies in his future battles to foes. He realized that he became a sly person after accomplishing too many deeds, and that was the person he never wanted to be, figuratively speaking. In his lifetime, Kalsu walked the path of suffering and despair. He and his comrades fought for their faith and beliefs in the unknown regions, and in return they failed and died. All my church and true burden against that was martyr. He once hated, not hating the way your way to read it, by the way, everything from God, not in the God that you're thinking when I use this term. I'm termed like a whole different notion, by the way. This applicable isn't the same notion, because I need to clarify for you people that's going to take it out of context. And I say clearly, he claims that he hated God and humans, not, he claims, but not because they killed his family, comrades, and so on, but how humanity has easily accepted a repeating history in history where life is priceless, it has no value. Sounds like the world, huh? Now let's see this. What's this? He finds that humanity, just like Ouroboros, cannot save itself, eating themselves in order to grow only to get nowhere. Kalsu admitted to his failure, his mortality, his guilt, thinking of it as meaning to everything the Father, figuratively speaking. So he forsook his heart filled with rage, meaning repentant. I'm showing you a way how you go about it. For the sake of humankind's salvation, claims he does not hate humanity anymore, and he will not save the current. He will save the current 6 billion, 81 billion, by the way, people, and the people from the past and future. He desires to make use of the phantasm chaos to fulfill his own ambition. Phantasm hint of how God used invisible qualities. Next example briefly. I'll explain this truth as something you miss. He simply wished that the happiness of all humanity, what does Creator want? Happiness for all humanity, for innate goodness to be found in the heart of all humanity, and annihilation of chaos. This term of chaos doesn't mean chaos in the primordial sense. By chaos, more so the usage of humanity applies to the negative light of their confusion, not his own. He simply knows the difference between chaos with a K and primordial chaos. Kalsu appears to be a benign man with an innocent smile. He's actually a manipulator who destroys adversaries with no hesitation in order to fulfill his ambition. He seems rather overly excessive dubious, having shown and done with good judgment. Now, when it says adversary, it doesn't mean a literal rival. It means those who seek to stop him from keeping humanity safe. Now, briefly, I'm going to this. Speaking of phantasm chaos, because I use that word, I'll let you see another miracle that humanity has been freely given but do not exercise. It's actually the world actually stop critical thinking and creativity for a joyless logical system, or a JOB, joyless obligation, which is what the deceiver has enforced upon the world. Remember how Job was tempted by all these labors he put on to him to test in favor of God? Why you think it is so routine based alone? But what pride does to you, you think your logic is better than anywhere else? Sounds familiar, huh? Pride comes before the fall. The fact you there is a fall is very humbling to me. It means I don't have to reach the top, just stay in the center of love. Also, here's the logic and creativity working together with math, which is meant to abuse to humans if they only use math and logic to find their way. Forsaking the growth of imagination and being humbled by these are both good. Prime example is how art is looked down upon, especially fine art. But art is amazingly with good intentions. Got two logic play with creativity. Evil is only your imagination, because God is good. So evil, aka the creator, is good. So evil is only if you take it and mean to live and turn it backwards like Satan does, because he claims that the law or wall isn't protective of your freedoms. Use creativity for good. Now the second KIS, keep it simple stupid, is phantasm chaos. It shows you in the video. Now I'm not gonna play this. You can look this one up here, but I'm playing it. In the above video, take note there is 12, 3, 7, 1. You can look at it like this: 12 separated because there's a comma. 3, 7 plus 1. Now 12, 10 is there and there. Need a better example? This should make it more clear. The numbers in the video for the date is October 11, 2017. Now if you use imagination, take these numbers. Watch 2017 10/October/10/11 and 4/important later. I will show how in the letters YHWH. See, it says God, right? Let me actually tell you more wisdom. Yes, there's nothing wrong with the name Pierce intent. Just evil people with evil intentions always seek to corrupt the holy or hide the obvious from their agenda. Now remember, God also used in English for family name, which is this particularly why you say God the Father, for example, to show who you're directing, which is why it's sad. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. So what is the basic family structure again? Now remember, YHWH can even initials. This should be seen as a family, a real family, as a heavenly above light shineth down, so the earth fashioned an invisible shadow, basking in its invisible light, is kept in divine order, natural order. So if a family on earth consists of this, a mother, a father, a son, for continuation of a family. But that's not that is how real personal humanity and Elohim family really is. You see, you are the children of God, aka Elohim. You've been adopted quite literally. I told this man. Literally. Anyways, literally into a family. Elohim of our family is plural of God. Common sense. When you don't try to look for your own mesh and let your mother or the Holy Spirit, your spiritual helper, that help you. Here's the simple truth. When Adam was made in flesh, God put him in a deep sleep so he could fashion a helper. What is a helper? Adam's helper is Eve, the mother of all living beings, a mortal man. So your common ancestors. So if male and female made them, aka Elohim. Moving on, the simple true truth, the real story, not his story, but the truth. Moving on, since I have to give this by counsel of the other divine counsel, working in unity in all matters for the betterment of our creation, but our family, we're family oriented. By the way, we came up with the zodiac to make sure no matter what everyone will be unique. It's actually, a design, mother's design, if you want to go there. This is keeping it basic for people. Moving on. I thought it'd be cool, honestly, but it was already a design that was set forth from eternity. So it was just like, hey, yeah, we're doing this, bam. I even have a character based off it. Yeah, I went out of the way before all this, way back when I roleplayed, to make a character to show how you can use Zodiac for stuff. All forms of Zodiac with truth. Hence why the Zodiac is your actual star chart. When you get your actual star chart, it makes sense. It's just a simple way to make everyone unique first. Then allow them to furthermore choose this side if they're going to be good. It's their destiny. The world think it can use the Elohim's knowledge against the family, but that's illogical. But that's what happens when you think you're better than even your own creators. Especially that one. That guy. Lucifer. And it's like Satan. Anyways, now let me explain to you, to have our family, even though there's a household, aka mother, son, heir, Muslim, God's family, and don't forget there's a daughter as well. But in the context of this explanation, where this is how I brought it in slow pieces. Now you must remember God's family, the first to the last generation, beyond time, truly be beyond time in perfect harmony and logic. In nature, understands truth and divine attributes displayed in plain yet invisible sight, with the visible natural attributes speaking praise of the inherent divine or heavenly, your choice of words, as long as it's true to the humble abode above. Also, here is wisdoms. Say, for example, it was only the father and the mother that existed at the end and the beginning. You could assume the kid name in the middle. That's not how eternal family works, because, the father and mother would naturally be heavenly, and naturally qualities want children. Where do you think your procreation came from? Procreation, pro-life, Anyways. So, naturally, you was told to be fruitful, so naturally the son. So let me show you this. Especially the wisdom that the Holy Spirit gave me during the January month, which brought forth, number one, Spirit of the Lord. These are attributes. The Spirit of wisdom, the Spirit of understanding, Spirit of counsel, Spirit of power, Spirit of knowledge, and Spirit of fear of the Lord. All of these things I need to gather personally in this order. Like perversion of nature and humanity, who is a direct insult to our faith, as he attempts to say, I can make your humans do everything backwards, aka the devil. I can make this backwards, and didn't grasp the level of karmic deck he was getting. Mother's quite patient. You remember, context-wise, this is very basic level again for Bowen when it started, but you'll see how the war started in soon enough. Now, but it doesn't mean she's going to take anything laying down. Have you not seen climate change? You guys are literally the cause of one of the most emotional beings to feel mistreated, disrespected, and dishonored. Then that lying bastards that no truth exists within him, he was put on charge for blasphemy. And when he found guilty of accusing law unfair, saying no human could follow these simple rules, he went so far to copy our redemption plan, since we were open to about in the heavenly realms. It was given in a simple version for living beings on earth through prophecy with traditional order. If light is mentioned, invisible light is figurative. Use shadow light literal of earthly realm to come together. What's that? The spiritual and the physical connected. Moving forward. Now you can look at this and count with me. 1, spirit of truth, spirit of wisdom, spirit of understanding, spirit of counsel, spirit of the power, spirit of knowledge, and spirit of fear of the Lord. Now you might be astonished. This makes complete sense. Now let me give you proper understanding. You can look at it like this. But all I'm saying is here is keep an open mind. That's all I'm going to say. Now, let me give you proper wisdom, or let me put this in some form of proper context of opening your mind. Put the same order like this. 1, a God is the truth, a God of wisdom, aka intuition. Intuition is a free gift, also, by the way, to both genders, usually closer to the mark, but it must be grounded not in emotional truth, but logical truth. Emotional truth can be like, you feel some way, for a fact, you're empathetic to their feelings, with a clear mind. That is emotional truth. But your mind and their beings freely known, but trying to disturb each other's emotion saying nothing. A lot of people feel somewhere, they might need your help, or be happy you're there. Even the negative feeling allows you to tell when something is off. This all requires absolute awareness, something that honestly has to be learned. It can be developed unless you're someone with an unpredictable mind, then hates are off, as he may be unpredictable. He's just looking to peer in the chaos of the unknown, connecting the door to the truth. This is what it means to trust in the Messiah, just so you get this works. Chaos is the unknown and order is of the truth, meaning chaos is the unapproachable light, but it brings light through order of the truth. Now, so see how this is unified. If you seek truth, you find the answer. That has a logical rock basis. If you use your imagination, it comes from a boundless beyond a beyond. Only truly chaos knows the way, not because it's better than anything else, but it's fear of the truth and the way you think, but fear of the truth of the infinite being lost in confusion. That's what you all fear. There has to be balance, always seeking something new under the sun, but nothing new will surprise the unknown, as you don't know the unknown. Not the unknown seeking you, but the truth is seeking to shine upon the unknown from the unknown. As many things are known yet unknown. Sounds like a feeling. Let me say again. As many things are known yet unknown. Just a matter of perspective, and nothing better than someone always out of the box. Think of Pandora's box. The unknown was inside it, since it was the first time for some, but not for one. They was the small light that never dies out in the darkness. The light that shines in the darkness. And this phrase is biased, and I fix this, but that shines in darkness, the darkness not grasped it. That's obviously I told you how the darkness is also a form of light. So moving on. Once again, absolute truth can be found in the Bible. If you forsake all lies like me, I will never leave you. Let the Holy Spirit quicken me to go over everything after following a little rest and clear your mind, because I was having this all night. And I'm like clarify about the Heavenly Mother and the Spirit of Truth, but it unctions out now. This in the morning now. This is the morning of it all, and like we return back server. This is when I used to be on a server of my own and just to role play, and these names all connect in their own way. You can notice how humanity may be down here. I made this long ago, but it's all about saving humanity at the end of the day. Now, this goes back to when 2016 happened. I actually already connected the dots using my actual roleplay days. Now, I found out a lot of truth using this form of thought as well, because you can learn a lot if you think outside the box of the world that you're living in. Always know the world isn't a box. I'm saying your mind is, you put it in a box. We all hear labels and stuff, and then you say, oh no, I'm not following the world, and then you follow right back into the box that you say you're not in the box. Huh. And then he's like, so remember, this guy's a suspect. Always find water. Always also find something you steal online years ago. So he knows this is stuff I used to do years ago. Like, check out my server farm for my original stuff, and I had this song tied to it at the time. It no longer works, I believe, but it's more like about finding demons in this song. Obviously, anyone can save me, God the Father, and so forth, But then I go back to the Bible, because I keep this going full circle. Proverbs 22. This is for all you people who might be complaining about a name. Let me tell you what the Bible says, Proverbs 22. All you focus on names and this and that and fame and all this. It says right here, a good name is rather to be chosen than great rich and loving favor, rather than silver and gold. The rich and poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of all of them all. Thorn and snares are the way of the obstinate and willful. He guards himself, will be far from them. Train up a child in the way he should go, and keeping with individual gifts. Name you give people matter. It's very powerful. When you give someone a name related to sin, they will walk in that way, moving forward. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a servant to the lender. He who sows iniquity will reap calamity and futility. The rod of his wrath, with which he smites others, will fall. Okay, someone who is doing iniquity and being wrathful will reap what they sow. He who has a bountiful eye shall be blessed, for he gives his bread to the poor, drives out the scoffer. Koala. The reason why I say koala, this person is a pierce a scoffer. Contention will go out, and yet strife and abuse will cease. He loves purity and pure in heart, who's gracious and speak, because grace of his lips will he have for the king. Have the king for his friend. The eyes of the Lord he guards over knowledge in him who has it, but he overthrows the words of the treacherous. Now, there's another one. Now the sluggard says, there's a lion outside, I shall be slain in the streets. The mouth of the loose woman is deep pit, for ensnaring wild animals, he whom the Lord indignant, and who is apparent to him will fall into it. Foolishness is abound in the heart of a child, but rod of discipline will drive it from him. He who oppresses the poor to gain for himself, he who gives to riches, both will surely come. Listen, consent, and submit to the words of the wise. Supply your mind to my knowledge, for it will be pleasant if you keep them in your mind, believing them. This is Proverbs. Your lips will be accustomed to confessing them, so that your trust, belief, reliance, support, and confidence may be in the Lord. I have made these things known to you today, even to you. Have I not written to you long ago? Excellent things and counsel of knowledge, to make you know the certainty of words of truth, that you may be given a transfer to those who sent you. Rob not the poor, being tempted by their helplessness, or the helpless Billy Bees. Neither oppress the afflicted at the gate, where the city court is held. Forth the Lord will please their cause in private life, those who deprive poor and afflicted. Make no friendship with a man given to anger, with a wrathful man do not associate, lest you learn his ways and get yourself in a snare. Be not one of those who strike hands or pledge themselves, or of those who become security for another's debt. If you have nothing which to pay, why should he take your bed from under you? Remove not the ancient landmark which your fathers have set up. Do you see a man diligent and skillful in his business? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure man. That was the whole chapter, by the way, Proverbs 22. Now, if you will have some faith that there's a heavenly mother, or if I told you a heavenly daughter as well, and heavenly son, and so forth, then have faith. But I continue on out of love and kindness and truth. And this choice is yours, but I say this. So I do. And then once again, this is related to the battle I'm going to be showing up in the next video while I plant this one. So this is a prelude to the stuff I had to deal with. Now, if the mother, the Holy Spirit, is the one person you cannot blaspheme against, your heavenly mother, the one whom your spirit comes from. Just this basic level for basic people who want basic things that help them. Listen to this song. I take no... This person put it together. This is by Final Fantasy, and all rights go to the proper owners. I'm just using the song for the words, the lyrics.
Awake in the morning, tired of sleeping. Get in the shower, make my bed alone. I put on my makeup, talking to the mirror, ready for a new day.
It's a female's voice for a reason.
Without you and I walk steady on my feet.
I say female voice for an important reason. Important part of the story.
I go out at night, sleep without the lights, and I do all of the things I had to, keeping you off my mind. But when I think I'll be alright, I am always wronger. Don't want to start again. No, they don't want to understand. They just shake and try to break whatever peace I may find. They only agree to hold when they don't want to be without. And they will not let me go. No, they will not let me go. I talk about you now and go a day without crying. right now. But when I think I'll be okay, I am always wrong. 'Cause don't wanna start again. No, they don't wanna understand. They just think it's gotta break whatever peace I may find. They only agree.
Now, I share that for important reason, since this is my story. And I'm sharing it, not only as a testimony, but so you can know why I'm sharing this. And this particular I say is a female voice. Let's just say this voice is related to my beloved. Let's put like in context. I will always explain everything I'm using. I'll give credit to D Projects for his presentation and usage of it. Obviously, Final Fantasy and the corporation and the creators of this, they deserve their, due respect. Michael Weston is there. I don't personally know. I know that, obviously he's related. I just give the credit where credit's due moving forward. Now, just take that into account. Now, this is where my form for the creation of the Tingent family, or what the heavenly terms mean, was all in the past. Look, these days, by the way. 2014, 2017, 2012, and I know you all saw last one date was 2016. All this done, was that 27? Yeah. Anyways, moving on. So, I called it, this is prior to all this, I called it Celestial Sanctum. That was meant to bring the celestial paradigm. You notice the Latin will be used on this server. Latin, very important. Don't know why I don't think language is important. Now I found one for one of my characters I made, and I made this to be represented. I have a actual thing, but this character has a uniqueness. But I'm not gonna go past it because these are character related things. You can pause at your own leisure, and they all have importance. But their weight is like, I can go on and on. But one of the things, it's like Kalsu, but the meaning like Aladdin crux, heavenly crux. Crux is at the center, by the way. And you can say, oh, well, this and that, but how about you just stop and think, you got time, how about you open your mind, or just listen to an interesting story, because it's going to get more interesting. This is literally a prelude to a very amusing story, if you can make it past this. Or you can skip ahead, but you will be out of context if you skip ahead, Anyway, one of these quotes are important. And, Kaisu and Kalsu means the same thing for the word chaos, by the way, just to understand. But it says, Kaisu is a person with a calm personality, but he rarely displays his emotion, making it difficult for others to tell what his thoughts and intentions are. But he has an unwavering willpower. He can be described as the calm before the storm. Kaisu may appear to be silent until he sees a weakness in the enemies, and once he does, he will expose it without mercy. Sometimes the male becomes emotional and filled with rage for unknown reasons. Now, this whole thing is reasons. There's a reason for it. And it isn't out hate. It's when people try to hurt family. You'll see it. But these were interesting titles, but we're going to move fast. Now, he's like, I don't understand how people, now this is the guy, one of the culprits, who said, I don't know how people knock creativity and uniqueness over. It's jealousy takes over their minds. In fact, they cannot be as creative and unique as those that are. Keep that in mind, people. If you be this way, that's on you. Now, I give the utmost respect to people like you that are creative and unique. We need more now. Now, this is the same person who's egging me on. Yeah, I need this and that. I'm like, so you remember I brought it up this way, and how I'm showing you this miracle way of thinking, how everything is connected, which I stated the way because I needed rest, but Mother also woke me up. So more so, the Holy Spirit unctioned me up whenever I need to do something throughout this whole thing. I'm moving on. So in 2016, I went on some many very eccentric walks that you can ask anyone that know me. But I went on eccentric walks like you wouldn't believe, and I'm dead serious. It was similar to a level that I literally, like I told you, I got on the high wall and didn't break a single bone. You don't gotta believe me, but that's not what happened. I didn't try that again. You can check that as me walking on faith with Father for you. Now, I didn't try that again after the first time. It was like a walk in the wilderness. One time it was night and I was falling asleep in the park, and suddenly I was jolted awake and these females coming to approach me from work, I guess. And mind you, this like 4 a.m. I suddenly got alerted. Remember, 2016, I had a lot of stuff going on. A lot. And I livened up awake. And remember I told you this was when everything it got it got interesting, but it's not the start of interesting point for my life. It's just just another part of my interesting life. Walked the young female to station and say God bless her. And I may have been a little over the top because I was dealing with a lot of spiritual, actual demonic forces trying to fight me. But at the end of the day, I walked her home, and then I went home, and stuff happened. Now, just like there's always a good response to drown the negative that will come out if it's not your patience and goodwill. I'm like, indeed, always goodwill to the other. Not he seemed wait, but then this is what happened. So he said this. So tell me about this Wolfie. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm gonna pause right here. This is where I will upload this and go into the meat of time to let you know what the crap was this going on. Yeah.